legs of DeAndre Swift and Elijah Holyfield. The Texas Longhorns marching into New Orleans on the back and arm of Sam Ehlinger. It's SEC versus Big 12. Red and black versus burnt orange. Dogs versus horns for just the 5th time ever. And for the first time here in the Sugar Bowl. Sounds pretty sweet. And welcome everyone to the final New Year's 6 bowl game at the All-State Sugar Bowl from the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in downtown New Orleans, Louisiana. Number 15, Texas. Number 5, Georgia. 2 schools with a combined 1,726 wins, 6 national championships, 4 Heisman Trophy winners. And meeting in a big one tonight. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Sean McDonough along with Todd Blackledge. Delighted to have you with us, joined by Holly Rowe in a moment. Whenever there's a bowl game, you wonder about the readiness of the teams. Todd, we do not have to wonder about the readiness of the 2 iconic mascots of these 2 universities. 2 of the most famous. There's Uga and Bevo, and that was 1 hour before the game. Uga came over to say a pleasant hello, it seemed, and Bevo wanted no part of that. And one of the big questions heading into this game on the field, the readiness of Georgia, their mental frame of mind. Number 5, the first team out of the college football playoff. A lot of people thought they should be in. Do you think they'll be ready to go tonight?
I do think. I think they will be. They've got a lot of young players, and this is their chance to shine. And I really think if you think you're one of the 4 best teams and should have been in the playoffs, there's no better way to prove that point than on the field against a team that plays in the conference that their champion beats you guys for getting in the playoffs. So I think they will be ready.
Of course, last year they played for the national championship, lost in overtime to Alabama. They had the great running back duo of Sony Michel and Nick Chubb, each selected in the top 35 picks of the NFL draft and thriving now as rookies. So a lot of people wondered, would they be able to run the ball? Yes, they can with a new dynamic duo.
Well, they lost 2 running backs, but they brought 4 starting offensive linemen back, and that made it good because DeAndre Swift, who was the 3rd back last year, has had an outstanding season, particularly in the second half of the year when he got completely healthy. He has tremendous vision and ability to cut without losing speed, ran for over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. And then Elijah Holyfield, his running mate, doesn't have the same make-you-miss capability, has the speed to get to the perimeter, but the thing that's special about him is his power. He is a very strong runner, averages over 4 yards per carry after contact, and the combination of Holyfield and Swift, almost 2,000-yard rushers again.
We talked to Tom Herman, the Texas coach, now in year 2. He described the season as progress. It would be a big win to get the 10th win of the season tonight, win a New Year's 6 bowl game. They have a hard time running the ball. They do it through the air, and they have an excellent duo of wide receivers.
Yeah, and they're big, and that's the thing. The matchups that these 2 guys create on opposing defenses is because of their size. They're both well over 6'4". Lil Jordan Humphrey is a slot receiver. He's very physical. He's the leading receiver, 79 catches, 9 touchdowns. Very physical after the catch, and when he's on the inside, he gets matched up with linebackers and safeties a lot. On the outside, Colin Johnson is even taller at 6'6", and when he's going against cornerbacks, he does a great job of using his body to shield the defender away from the football. Sam Ehlinger, the quarterback, one of the best things he does is he trusts these guys, and he will throw the football up and give them opportunities to make plays.
The Georgia Bulldogs, the Texas Longhorns, and the kickoff from New Orleans right after this.
Are you ready? Ready? Is you ready?
Tackle breaking free at Swift at the 20.
He dives near the pylon, and he crosses the goal line.
Downfield, he's got a man open. It is caught. Touchdown, Texas.
What's he got?
30, 20, 15, touchdown! Swift done it again!
And that pass is caught. Little Jordan Humphrey. Touchdown, Texas.
There's your ball game. Touchdown, Georgia.
You ready?
Just about ready to go. Been a great day of college football. We hope we have a real close one for you tonight. Down on the field, here's Holly Rowe.
Coach Kirby Smart, I know that you'll be without your Jim Thorpe Award winner DeAndre Baker at corner, but you've got some other guys on defense maybe out. What's DeAndre Walker's status? He's been nursing a groin injury.
He tried to go in warm-ups. It's still bothering him. He may struggle to go. We got a lot of other guys to play. We're going to play some young players. I'm excited to see them play tonight.
Coach, everybody wants to know if Georgia's ready. What did you see in the locker room and as your guys ran out that let you know if they are?
I can look in their eye and tell. Our team wants to play well. They've been challenged for a long time. I'm excited to see them go play.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Kirby Smart's Georgia Bulldogs well represented in the crowd, as are the burnt orange Texas Longhorns. Sam Ehlinger will get the ball first. Georgia won the toss. Kirby Smart deferred. So Rodrigo Blankenship kicks off. Very unlikely we'll see a return from Lil Jordan Humphrey. 79 touchbacks in 93 kickoffs, and now that's the 80th off the foot of the junior Blankenship. So here comes Sam Ehlinger. The Texas quarterback out of Austin, Texas, Westlake High School, the same school that produced, among others, Drew Brees, and he came out tonight wearing a Drew Brees Westlake High School jersey with number 15, paying tribute to the man who has occupied this building with great distinction for so many years. He attended Drew Brees' camps as a youngster. Trey Watson, the running back for Texas. Andrew Beck, the shifting man, and here's Watson. Puts his head down and then got stood up after a 7-yard gain. Here's tonight's Chick-fil-A impact players. Todd told you about Lil Jordan Humphrey and Colin Johnson. 144 combined receptions. And they get 145. Humphrey driving out toward midfield and crosses midfield to the 49 of Georgia.
And watch for Texas to go fast now, using tempo. That's the matchup problem with inside receivers. As big as Humphrey is, he catches those slants and he is very physical after the catch.
Watson, the running back, trying to turn the corner, and he's dropped after a gain of 2.
Texas knows they're not going to be able to line up and just run right at this Georgia defense. They got to find creative ways to run, and that includes the quarterback, Sam Ehlinger, an excellent runner. He had 9 games this season where he carried the ball 10 or more times. I would expect to see him in double-digit carries tonight.
Carried it 15 times in their loss to Oklahoma on December 1st in Arlington, Texas, in the Big 12 title game. Scored 2 touchdowns. Tom Herman compares him to Tim Tebow, and that seems to be an apt comparison based on what we've seen. Similar competitiveness as well. Trey Watson, the catch out of the backfield, about 3 yards short of the first down. Tyler Clark made the tackle for Georgia.
Well, and just as Kirby said to Holly, DeAndre Walker not out there right now, and this is a team that only had 22 sacks. They don't pressure the quarterback great, and he was their best, and he's not out there.
He had 7.5 sacks. Walker, the next highest total for any player, is 2. Their pass rush by committee. They bring some pressure on 3rd and 4. A nice call by Tim Beck, the offensive coordinator, against it. And Keontae Ingram, the freshman running back, gets swung down, but he made it all the way to the 27-yard line.
See, that inside linebacker's responsible in man coverage for the back coming out. He gets hung up in the wash, and that's an excellent call, anticipating a blitz and man coverage by Tim Beck.
15-yard gain. Trey Watson and Keontae Ingram saying enough of the hype about DeAndre Swift and Elijah Holyfield. Don't forget about us. Doing it in the passing game, the running backs, the play fake, a good ball by Ehlinger, and another first down to Devin Duvernay.
Well, this is an excellent drive here for Texas to start. As you take a look at DeAndre Walker pacing the sidelines. Good blend of a few runs, play action passes, some quick throws, and they've got this Georgia defense a little bit back on their heels. Again, a lot of young guys out there for the Bulldogs.
That's been the way throughout. They substitute liberally all over the defense. They did their game against Auburn at midseason. There were a number of times 6 or 7 defenders running on at once. Play clock at 3. Ingram Wrapped up and swung down by Jonathan Ledbetter, the senior from Tucker, Georgia, coming to the end of an outstanding career. His motivation level was obvious when we talked to him yesterday. He was ready to go 24 hours ago.
Very focused, wants to play well, wants to improve his draft stock. He's going to go play in the Senior Bowl. He's a highly motivated young guy playing in this game.
Second team All-SEC design quarterback run for Ehlinger, and Georgia ready for him. Jawan Taylor leading the way. Of course, Todd, this Georgia defense, another issue. Mel Tucker was the coordinator all year. After their championship game against Alabama, he left to be the head coach at Colorado. So it's signal calling by committee on this Georgia defense with Kirby Smart heavily involved.
Yeah, Glenn Schumann is up in the press box. Dan Lanning is on the field. And, of course, Kirby Smart very involved in the defensive calls as well.
Big call here on both sides of the ball. 4 minutes in. Impressive opening drive for underdog Texas. Can the Horns punch it in? They can get a first down at the 3. Ehlinger fires, caught. Humphrey has the first down inside the 2-yard line.
Really nice route by little Jordan Humphrey. He's going to press against the defender and roll back inside and use that big body again. And Ehlinger, with good protection, hits him for the first down.
Again, the rapid pace. And Ehlinger runs it in, a la Tim Tebow. Touchdown, Texas. What a start for the Horns.
Georgia's going to blitz a linebacker, but they're blitzing from the opposite side, and there's not an extra guy. The blitz comes here, but Ehlinger is running this way, gets right behind his back. Keontae Ingram, nice block by the tight end, 47, Andrew Beck. And what an impressive drive for the Longhorns.
And the true freshman kicker out of Austin, Lake Travis High School, Cameron Dicker knocked one through. Impressive opening drive engineered by Sam Ehlinger. Texas first on the board, 7-0 Horns.
National Championship Game, Monday at 8 on ESPN.
What a matchup that should be. Alabama and Clemson. Georgia just 2 losses on the year. One of them the heartbreaking defeat on December 1st in Atlanta in the SEC title game to Alabama. They had a 2-touchdown lead that got away. And Texas battled Oklahoma all the way to the end in the SEC championship game before losing 39-27.
Sam Ehlinger had a shoulder injury about midway through the season. It affected him. They had to really reduce his pitch count, and this rest and time off after that championship game has been valuable for him.
He took a week and didn't do anything. He was 5 for 5 on that opening Texas touchdown drive. 4 different receivers. Cameron Dicker, the touchback. And here comes Jake Fromm. Last year, really a game manager. Now he is a factor with his throwing as well. Sophomore from Warner Robins, Georgia, completing 68.4%. Not only did that lead the SEC, but if it stays there, that'll be the single season Georgia completion percentage record.
27 touchdowns. That's 3rd best ever for a Georgia quarterback. So he has really upped his game and fought off competition. I mean, this is a competitive guy who has become the key leader of this team, and he's only a sophomore.
Smart, accurate, tough. Gets them in the right plays. Gets a lot of latitude at the line of scrimmage from Jim Chaney, the offensive coordinator. Gave it to Elijah Holyfield, and he got greeted rudely by Chris Nelson and Joseph Osai. On this side of the ball, the Chick-fil-A impact players. Riley Ridley, the outstanding receiver for Georgia. Brother Calvin Ridley, the former Alabama receiver. Charles Omenihu, the defensive lineman of the year in the Big 12, and Gary Johnson, their leading tackler. Georgia 39 points per game. That's actually 4 points better per game than the team that played for the national championship last year. 4-man rush. Holyfield out of the backfield. Put his head down and got to the 29 with Chris Boyd and Joseph Osai there for Texas.
The big question for Texas in this game on both sides of the ball is, can they hold up in the line of scrimmage? Because this Georgia offensive line is much bigger than Texas's defensive front seven. They're going to rely on quickness and stunts and slants like they did on that first down play, but this is a very big and athletic Georgia line.
Massive was the word Tom Herman used. The smallest player on that offensive line is the center, Gilliard, 6'2", 308. Fromm on target with a man wide open. Terry Godwin tried to dance away from Brandon Jones and could not, but it's a Georgia first down to the 40-yard line.
Well, Godwin's going to come right here in a little crossing route, right in front of the eyes of the quarterback. Good pocket protection, and a nice completion for Jake Fromm, his first one of the ball game. Guy knows how to distribute the football. In the Alabama game, he hit 9 different receivers. Had a brilliant game against that Alabama defense. Sees the field and gets rid of the football.
At one point against Alabama, he had 10 straight completions. They had both of the running backs in, Swift and Holyfield, and Swift got dropped for a loss by the corner. First team all Big 12, Chris Boyd, senior from Gilmer, Texas.
The strength of this Texas defense is in the back end. A couple of corners who have played a lot of ball here for the Longhorns. 2 very good safeties. Number 11, P.J. Locke, has started 30 games. I mean, he is really one of the leaders. It's an excellent secondary, both in coverage and in tackling.
Brian Herrion came in and running back, but he shifted out, and they go 5 wide against the 4-man rush. Fromm, not as adept a runner as Ellinger, and Gary Johnson tripped him from behind. Matter of fact, Jake's longest run of the season is just 10 yards. That was against Florida.
Well, here's Gary Johnson. He's a linebacker. He's working on Andrew Thomas, their best offensive lineman. But once he accelerates to the quarterback, this is a former 100-meter state champion in high school. This is a linebacker who can really fly.
Yeah, 6 feet 230, ran a 10.59 100 meters to win the 2015 Alabama Class 5A state title. 3rd down and 9. Swift, the running back. Look out, Fromm did well to hang on to the ball as Omenahu tried to bat it away, and then Fromm, under pressure, threw it away.
Charles Omenahu, the Big 12 Defensive Lineman of the Year, working on Isaiah Wilson, the right tackle, the best pass rusher on this team. He gets to Fromm first, doesn't get the sack, almost knocks the ball out, but then Fromm ends up just throwing the football away.
We talked to Omenahu yesterday. We asked him, what are your greatest skills? He said, I terrorize the other team's quarterback.
He's off to a good start on that one.
Led the Big 12 in sacks with 9.5. Here's the freshman Jake Camarda out of Norcross, Georgia, has had an excellent year. Wow. And right on cue. And a beautiful bounce that landed near the 2 and did not kick into the end zone. Richard LeCounte downed it. Well, as we're going to break, the men and women in our truck showed you the shot of the punter, Jake Camarda, going down on a knee, and they did it for a reason. His knee was down, and while we were away in the replay booth, they took a look at it, and they are going to mark the ball all the way back at the 27-yard line of Georgia, where his knee went down. The punt was down to the Texas 7.
Yeah, 70 yards of field position swing. And I would expect Texas, after that play, to really take a shot right now, because now you've got an opportunity to really stick one in there and put the pressure on this Georgia team.
"66 yards of field position difference." Nick Moore, an experienced snapper. As a matter of fact, he's been invited to the Senior Bowl. Trey Watson, the running back. Everything going Texas's way to start this game halfway through the quarter. And Sam Ellinger's pass over the middle, batted down by Devontae Wyatt. Part of that rotating defensive front. Sophomore from Decatur, Georgia.
Again, how will the Texas offensive line hold up against this Georgia defense? So far, it's early, but so far pretty good in their pass protection for Sam Ehlinger.
A blitz, and Trey Watson stuffed after a 2-yard gain.
Another nice play by Ledbetter. Fought off the block, worked inside, and just met Trey Watson right there at the point of attack. Big play right here for the Georgia defense after that turnaround. If they could get a stop here and force a field goal attempt.
DeAndre Walker, their best player on the defensive line. Sack and tackles for loss leader, still on the sideline with a groin injury. Suffered in the conference title game. 5-man rush. Ehlinger steps away from it and gets wrestled down just shy of the 20. Richard LeCount, the safety, who's their leading tackler for the year, at the 20-yard line, and Tom Herman sends the field goal unit out. Well, good job by the Georgia defense to rally after the snap. Caused the ball to be spotted at the 27-yard line.
Yeah, that was one of those freshmen that's going to rotate in there and rush the passer. Adam Anderson, number 56, who got there first and flushed Ehlinger from the pocket.
Cameron Dicker, terrific freshman season, including the game-winning kick from 40 yards with 9 seconds to go against Oklahoma in the regular season. That's good from 37. Camarda still upset. Texas leads 10-0.
The All-State Sugar Bowl, brought to you by Allstate, reminding you that football season is mayhem. Chick-fil-A Catering, it's the little things that take the stress out of the holidays. And Capital One, what's in your wallet?
One of the most memorable Sugar Bowl games, the '83 game. Number 2 Penn State upsets number 1 Georgia and Herschel Walker, led by our own Todd Blackledge, the most outstanding player. 228 yards passing. Congratulations, you were on the field before the game tonight, inducted as part of the second class of the Sugar Bowl Hall of Fame. I know it means a lot to you. That kickoff goes out of bounds. Cameron Dicker.
Todd Blackledge, quarterback for Penn State and the most valuable player.
Jerome Bettis next to you, Vince Dooley. We could read your lips telling Jerome Bettis you're being booed, and you were, because they're Georgia fans here tonight, and they remember that you played the biggest part in their team not winning the national championship. You won the first for Coach Paterno.
And I was just glad that they booed Steve Spurrier more than me, because he beat Georgia more than I did, so he got an even bigger boo. But such a great class. Very honored to be a part of it, and met a guy that I'd never met before, Bobby Greer, who played at Pitt. Was the first African-American to play in a Sugar Bowl, the 1956 Sugar Bowl against Georgia Tech. Just a really neat guy.
Saw Jerome Bettis, Bobby Lane, Darrell Royal, Deion Sanders, Steve Spurrier, Scott Werner, former Georgia Bulldog, also part of that class. Elijah Holyfield carries for Georgia, Joseph Osai the stop. Here's Holly.
Well, we walked into the Georgia practice 2 days ago, and one of the men who referees for Georgia, the moment we walked in, said, "Oh no, Blackledge again in New Orleans." They sure remember how Todd ruined their season. He said, "You know, you're my favorite TV analyst, but the one I hate the most is a college quarterback."
Yeah, I've run into a lot of them. We've done a lot of Georgia games over the last several years.
It's hard to dislike you, Todd. You're as easygoing and nice a human being as I know. 2nd down and 5. There's Holyfield. You have to hope his dad, Evander Holyfield, doesn't dislike you, because that could be a problem. Great former heavyweight champion of the world is here tonight to cheer on his son Elijah, one of 12 of Evander Holyfield's children.
I think this is going to be a game that's going to shape up for Jake Fromm to really take some shots. I think Texas is really locked in to trying to get extra bodies around the running game of Georgia, and I think he's going to have an opportunity to make some plays down the field.
I should point out Elijah Holyfield's mom, Tammy Pettaway, here tonight as well. He's on the sideline now. DeAndre Swift, an excellent receiver at running back, needs to do some work, and Amenahu won't let him work. Charles Amenahu said, we want to be known as the Texas team that got the program back to where it should be, not just by making a New Year's Six game, but by winning it.
Watch Amenahu. He's going to go on an outside stunt and then read the play. He has a great feel for the play, peels off on the rush, as does Hager, and they stopped that play for nothing. This Texas defense so far very locked in.
Here's Jake Camarda. And obviously the snap much better this time, but the kick is nowhere near as good. It's a shank.
See, that snap's still in his head. I mean, you know, kickers, they go up and down confidence-wise and mentally sometimes, and that kick right there was the result of what happened on his first punt attempt. He's still not over it.
He is a true freshman, and a little sales job for the coaching staff on the sideline with Camarda. We'll tip off the new year with our first NBA Wednesday doubleheader. It comes your way tomorrow. Karl Anthony Towns and the Timberwolves in beautiful downtown Boston to take on Kyrie and the Celtics. That's at 8. And then the Lakers hosting Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and the Thunder at Staples Center. LeBron James hasn't played since Christmas with a strained groin. Coverage begins with NBA Countdown at 7 on ESPN and the app. A shank by Jake Camarda, an 11-yard punt. The one that got negated because of the knee down went 53 yards. And Texas already leading 10-0. Outgaining Georgia 81-6. Starts at midfield. Sam Ehlinger in an early rhythm. Devin Duvernay with sprinter speed, tackled by Jawan Taylor.
What Ehlinger is doing really well right now is he is setting protections. That was a max protection. They had a back and a tight end. He put him where he wanted. He set the protection, and then he had single coverage out here to throw. He's right now, they're asking him to do that a lot. Georgia's defense gives you a lot of looks. So far, he's seeing things well.
Keontae Ingram was the running back. It got swung wide to Lil Jordan Humphrey. And he got chopped down by J.R. Reed, the outstanding junior safety. There's Jordan Davis. We've mentioned DeAndre Walker trying to go tonight, the defensive end, but bothered by a groin. Jordan Davis not even dressed. He would be in the middle of that defensive line, a freshman out with a back problem, and that's a big loss. He really came on as the year progressed.
Yeah, began the year on the scout team and ended up being a starter and a key player in the middle of that defense.
Option look. It's pitched by Ehlinger to Ingram. Very highly recruited freshman out of Carthage, Texas. And a little annoyed as he remained tangled up with Eric Stokes and Tay Crowder.
This Texas football team, you would think they should be able to run the football better. Coming into the game 104th in college football, only 3.8 yards per carry, but they've got to run enough to keep a team like Georgia honest defensively.
Well, they're definitely a workmanlike offense. They have to sustain long drives. They don't have a play, and they're guilty of a false start penalty. Michael Mothershed of the Pac-12, the referee.
False start, number 47, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
They don't have a 50-yard play from scrimmage, even in the passing game, at which they excel, but it's bit by bit. Yeah. The only other team in the country in FBS this year that did not have at least one 50-yard play from scrimmage was Central Michigan.
Second down.
Georgia, by contrast, has 14 plays of 50 plus.
Very explosive Georgia offense this year, coming into the game averaging 7.4 yards per play. One of the best, one of the top 5 in the country in that category.
Out of the pistol, Ehlinger misconnected with Ingram and had a dive on it. Loss of about a half yard. They're probably not in field goal range right now for Dickers. Long's 52. It's close.
It's kind of a read play, and I think Sam just kind of hesitated a little bit too much with the ball in the belly of the back. And as he tried to pull it out late, dropped the football. Smartly, though, falls on it to avoid a bigger mistake. Talked about DeAndre Walker not being in the game. His replacement, Brenton Cox, right here, number 1, is a true freshman. Highly recruited, but a young player.
Out of Stockbridge, Georgia. High throw off the hands of Colin Johnson. It's difficult to throw it too high for him. He's 6'6". The son of the great All-American defensive back Johnny Johnson at Texas in the 70s.
Watch Brenton Cox. We just talked about him. His pressure working on Cosme, the right tackle, is what caused the throw to sail a little bit on Sam. Ball was high, but it was because of the pressure put on by Brenton Cox. We'll see Brenton Cox. We'll see Robert Beal. We'll see Aziz Ojulari. 3 real young, inexperienced players trying to fill that void from DeAndre Walker.
Young and inexperienced, but also players that everybody wanted.
Absolutely.
The big improvement in the last couple of years at Georgia. Outstanding recruiting under Kirby Smart. The best recruiting classes in the country.
Offense.
Among them.
5-yard penalty.
I love that right there. DeAndre Walker doing a little coaching on the sideline, staying engaged, staying involved.
Tom Herman takes the delay, give a little more room to the punter, who's been up and down, Ryan Buchevsky, an Australian. He's the cousin of Michael Dixon, who was their great punter the last couple of years, won the Ray Guy Award, left early to go to the NFL, was drafted in the 5th round by Seattle, and Michael Dixon going to the Pro Bowl as a rookie. Buchevsky has not been as good. And a dangerous return man back, Terry Godwin. Good job by Buchevsky, and Godwin caught it at the 10. Here's Holly Rowe.
Well, we told you who Georgia is playing without tonight, but Texas without their freshman of the year in the Big 12, Caden Stearns, their good safety. He injured his right knee in the Big 12 championship game. Tom Herman described it as a bone bruise. He thought he would be close to playing, but I have not seen him enter the game yet tonight. He's standing on the sidelines with his helmet. In his place, a sophomore and a freshman. B.J. Foster, number 25, the freshman, and Josh Thompson, the sophomore, have been rotating in his place. Keep an eye on the middle of the field because Caden Stearns has been everything for this Texas defense this year in the back end.
That's a shame. And we spoke with Coach Herman, Todd Orlando, the defensive coordinator, yesterday. I got the impression they thought he would play. They do have Brandon Jones, who left the title game with a concussion against Oklahoma a month ago. Incomplete pass right through the hands of Riley Ridley.
When you talk about a team's mental state, their mental readiness, it can show up in little mental mistakes. And something like that, a drop pass by Riley Ridley, that I'm not saying it definitely means they're not ready to play, but those kind of the things that you look for when you're trying to see, is a team really focused on this game and this opponent on this night?
Well, they have 6 yards of offense right now. 1 minute to go, first quarter. Inside handoff to DeAndre Swift.
Ball's out.
The ball is out. A pile up at the 13. The Horns say they have it, and they do. Gerald Wilbon came up with the football.
It's a fumble recovered by the defense. First down, Texas.
Well, the hit was one of the guys that Holly was just talking about. Freshman B.J. Foster, number 25, is going to come up and knock the ball out, along with Anthony Wheeler, number 45, and Wilbon, who played in this building as a high school senior in a state championship game. But that's another one of those plays. Just a little bit of lack of concentration on the part of DeAndre Swift. And Texas in great field position again.
First turnover of the game, although the knee down on the punt certainly felt like a turnover for Georgia. And now some trickery. Little Jordan Humphrey to Ellinger. Bounces off the hits and gets an 8-yard gain. Humphrey has already thrown a touchdown pass this year. He's caught one, obviously more than one. He's rushed for one. He's done it all.
Watch Ellinger bounce on. Now, Richard LeCount is the leading tackler on this Georgia defense, and he could not bring Ellinger down.
Blitz on 2nd and 2. Ellinger buried back at the 10-yard line. Looked like he wanted to run, didn't see any running room, thought about throwing it, and Malik Herring ended all thought processes.
Pressure by Georgia. He actually had enough time. He's got to throw that one out of the back of the end zone. Excellent coverage. It wasn't an all-out blitz. It was a zone pressure, so there were plenty of defenders. Well designed by the Georgia defense, and now 3rd down and 7.
That's the end of
Gets us to the end of the first quarter. Can Georgia cover up for another mistake with its defense on the field? The All-State Sugar Bowl back right after these messages. You're watching the All-State Sugar Bowl. Sean McDonough, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe. We go to the second quarter. Texas leading 10-0. And Todd, the first play of the second quarter feels big to me. Texas got only 3 on the last short field. Georgia tried to force another field goal attempt.
I think if Ellinger gets Colin Johnson in single coverage, he's going to give him a shot. He's up here at the top, 6'6" wide receiver.
Georgia without DeAndre Baker, the corner, won the Jim Thorpe Award as the best DB in the country. Ellinger eludes the rush. Ellinger, touchdown, Texas.
He just ducked under the rush, and I think this might have been a quarterback keeper all the way, because watch Watson. He's going to go and block. Ellinger, the pressure gets there quick. He ducks under it, and then he gets right behind the block by Trey Watson. The fact that he was blocking downfield says that was a quarterback draw on 3rd and 7, and Ellinger made a great play.
Well, they have so much faith in his ability to run.
Yeah.
Tom Herman said he's Tim Tebow. And the more you watch him play, the more he resembles him in all facets of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, he has the leadership and the competitiveness in addition to the running ability.
Well, he is not afraid of contact. he
Does
will
that look
run.
like Tim Tebow?
Yeah, that's him all the way. Protects the football high and tight. And this is what Tim looked like. Tim's here today. I'm sure he loves watching Sam Ellinger play, because similar spirit in how he plays the quarterback position.
Of course, Tim was a terrific player. I would suggest, and I do this with our colleague in the building, that Sam Ellinger might be a better thrower.
I don't know. Tim's numbers were pretty good.
Yes, they were very good.
He had good throwing numbers.
But if Tim doesn't like that, you said it. Well, here's the comparison. Sophomore year for Tim Tebow, Florida 2007. And for Sam Ellinger, you said Tim put up the numbers. I take it back. Well, the other day I compared Ian Book to Drew Brees, and then Notre Dame had, what, I don't know, like 1 first down. I can't remember what it was. I tried to forget. So a big hole.
Well, this is where you need Jake Fromm right here. I mean, he has been your leader. You know, and when we talked to him, it was interesting, because he said, you know, we got a lot of young guys. I think they're going to be ready to play. Some of the older guys don't know for sure, but we hope everybody's going to be on point. But now this is the time when Georgia needs him. They need him to step up and make some plays, rally the troops, and put a good drive together here. There's still a lot of football left in this game.
I thought Jake Fromm, we talked to a lot of the players' coaches about the emotional readiness. He gave the most honest answer.
Yeah.
He didn't say, oh, everybody's ready to go. We had great practice. He said, you know, I think it's going to vary person to person, as you said. Elijah Holyfield ahead for 4. Of course, the other distraction we haven't mentioned yet, Justin Fields, number 1 prospect out of high school last year in the country, backup quarterback, freshman from Kennesaw, Georgia. Lots of rumors in the lead up to this game that he is transferring. Kirby Smart said, I don't think that decision has been made yet. I hope he stays. He's actually the roommate here in New Orleans of Jake Fromm. And Jake said, I don't know what he's going to do, but most people believe Fields will be leaving after this game. Charlie Warner, the tight end with the catch, and spun down by P.J. Locke just short of the first down by a yard.
And to Justin Fields' credit, according to everybody that we talked to, he is completely locked in. His practices has been good. He's taken all the second reps. He's been fully engaged. So no matter what his future plans are, he seems to be in the right place here in New Orleans.
Big play for Georgia. Trying to just get a first down. And it's a struggle, but Brian Herrien gets it by a yard. Here's Holly.
Well, in the early days of Georgia Bull practice, someone close to the team told me that things didn't go well the first 3 days of practice, to the point where they had to sit some starters and say, look, if you're not willing to prepare and have the energy and the pride that we need to get ready for the Sugar Bowl, you're not going to be a part of our team. So guys had to sit. They sent a message to everybody that you better get ready. And they told us that they've been flying around, that guys had a better attitude lately, but the early start was very difficult.
They have a first down. And here's Herrien. Tough run. He delivered the blow to Brandon Jones.
You know, and I think they're giving Herrien an opportunity here. Remember DeAndre Swift with this fumble deep in their own territory. And Herrien with two powerful physical runs back to back.
This is their fourth leading rusher on the year. He just ran over Brandon Jones, the safety. Georgia with just 2 first downs, 27 yards of offense. Fromm completes for their third first down, and Ryan Ridley broke a tackle. Gary Johnson a little woofing after he made the stop.
I like it. I like the bounce. Herrien gave them a little bit of a bounce in this drive. He converts the short yardage. He runs over the safety, and he bounces off the field, and Elijah Holyfield bounces onto the field. And right now, Georgia in the midst of their best drive of the football game.
Across midfield for the first time. Texas has already had 18 offensive snaps in Georgia territory. Elijah Holyfield tried to deliver a stiff arm to Chris Boyd. He did turn the corner. And a good gain on first down. He got 7 to the Texas 37.
See, this is the identity, the true identity of the Georgia football team. It's to run the football. Jake Fromm's had a great year, but he's best when he's attempting 18 to 20, 22 passes a game, not 30 to 35, 37 passes. So that means they got to run the football effectively.
They rushed for 17 yards. They averaged 251. Best in the SEC, 12th in the country. Holyfield zips through the middle. First down, Georgia at the Texas 28.
Again, this offensive line is so big, they just get on you and kind of put those bodies. It's zone blocking, and they just move people because of their size and their girth.
They go with tempo, and it's DeAndre Swift who got smothered for a loss. Back to the 30-yard line. B.J. Foster, as Holly reported, in for the outstanding freshman Caden Stearns. And Foster's played well. He was another highly recruited freshman. He started 5 games this year. As they say, they didn't have to go to the JV team.
Well, and he and Stearns both enrolled early. They were in January. They went through spring football. And, but at this point in the year, as many reps as they played, they're not freshmen anymore.
On 2nd and 11, Fromm mobile enough to get away from the initial rush and then slid down as Malcolm Roach approached. When you asked Jake yesterday, Todd, how do you want to get better with an eye toward next season? I said I'd like to be more effective in the run game. Yeah.
Well, run game and extending plays and throwing on the run with accuracy. I think all the things that you see guys at this level and the next level doing to make themselves better players.
He was held off, the top recruit in the country, Fields, who played in 12 games because Fromm is 23-4 as the starter. And has done just about everything else well except run the ball. They don't need him to be a runner. He's on target to the right man. And it's a first down. Riley Ridley run after the catch. They're inside the 20 for the first time tonight.
Nice read. This is just zone coverage. Ridley's the underneath receiver. Texas dropping deep in zone coverage. The right read. You look deep to short and allow your receiver to run for the first down.
Swift into the pile and does not move it. Gerald Wilbon in there, Menahu again, all fired up.
Texas really sold out on that first down play. They brought a corner blitz. They brought inside linebacker pressure. Todd Orlando.
He can still play.
Oh, yeah. Former linebacker at Wisconsin.
Played on their Rose Bowl team. The '94 season that beat UCLA. Their first appearance in the Rose Bowl for the Badgers since '63. From man wide open, on target to Brian Herrien for the Georgia touchdown.
Really well-designed play, getting Herrien out of the backfield. The tight end is going to run down the seam and kind of seal off the safety. Herrien goes right down the gut here. It's a play action, so it holds the linebackers, and Herrien gets right into that soft spot. Isaac Nada with the little screen, and well-executed touchdown.
Rodrigo Blankenship just did make it. That's 244 in a row PATs for the University of Georgia. 152 of those off Blankenship's foot. 12 plays, 75 yards is a 17-yard touchdown reception. First touchdown catch of the year for Brian Herrien. Well, look who's flying in. Everybody excited for Disney's Dumbo. Plenty of time to prepare to go see it. It's coming to theaters on March 29th. Pop that one into your account. I'm a little worried about Dumbo flying in here with the obvious tension between Bevo and Uga in the pregame. Bevo has calmed down. Bevo was ornery from the moment Bevo arrived tonight.
Yeah.
If you tuned in late, Uga, 10, weighing 62 pounds, went over in the pregame. I think a very sportsmanlike display. And Bevo, 1,700 pounds, 58-inch wingspan on those horns. Attacked Uga.
Yeah. Well, he's fired up, and so is Sam Ehlinger. I mean, Sam Ehlinger's off to a great start here early in the game, 7 of 9. Doing a really nice job of getting rid of the football. And I'm very impressed with what he's doing with the protections. This is a max protection. He set his guys where he wanted to. Good vision downfield. And then what he always does when he gets in the red zone is ready to run the football. Quarterback draw, he eludes the pressure, and you're just not going to bring him down with arm tackles. A physical, fearless runner.
On first down, Rod Hurd, the receiver, senior, former starting quarterback. 10 games as quarterback as a redshirt freshman for the Horns in 2015. Just his 13th catch of this his senior season.
I think you got to find a ball to Colin Johnson here on this drive. He's too valuable of a part of your offense. He hasn't touched it yet. You've got good things going, but he's got to get involved in your offense now.
That was Trey Watson, the ball carrier, the graduate transfer from Cal. Will spend just this season at Texas. And their leading ball carrier for the year. He had plenty of room. And it's a first down.
Boy, good hit, though.
Natrez Patrick, veteran, senior from Atlanta. He was the only linebacker coming back this season who'd started more than one game for Georgia. He started 26 in his Bulldog career. A little momentum for Georgia, but Texas on the move again with 8 minutes to go in the half. Ehlinger's 8 out of 10 for 80 yards passing. He's rushed for a couple. He's in trouble. Ducks under the hit from Azeez Ojulari, and that was a big whiff by Ojulari as Ehlinger ran all the way inside the Georgia 40.
Well, Ojulari is one of those guys who has not played any meaningful snaps. He had a knee injury in high school. He's cleared now, but he wasn't able to bring down Ehlinger. And because it was man coverage, the crossing route by Colin Johnson from that side left a void, and Ehlinger took advantage of it.
Ehlinger avoided him like he was an Azeez. 46-yard line. Thank you for the courtesy chuckle. I'm sure Dumbo will be much funnier when it appears on March 29th. Trey Watson, he got rocked but kept going forward.
You know,
we wonder about the investment level on each team. I think we have a football game now where everybody is engaged if they weren't at the start.
And we've talked a little bit about Georgia and where they would be. Look at this for Texas now. This is the first major bowl game that they've been in since 2009. The first chance to win 10 games since 2009.
They lost to Alabama in the title game, BCS National Championship game in Pasadena that year. Little Jordan Humphrey. And that's Devon Wilson playing his first snaps as a Georgia Bulldog tonight. True freshman, hurt his knee in the offseason, has rehabbed all year to get out here. And as you can tell just by looking at him, they loved him. He came in, he was highly recruited, enrolled early, went through spring. Second day of spring football, he tore his knee out. And so this is his first action in a game since that happened. Looks like he might have spent some time in the weight room while he was rehabbing the knee as well. Another one of the most highly recruited players in the country. But Watson breaking a tackle down the sideline and bumped out of bounds by J.R. Reed. LeCompte, their leading tackler for the year, with a big miss at the start of the play.
Well, it just didn't wrap up. He made good contact, but Trey Watson ran through the tackle and turned it in from a loss into a big game.
Impressive response to the Georgia touchdown to this point by Texas. Ellinger throws it away.
Yeah, good coverage downfield, smart decision. Remember, one of the times they were down there, he held the ball too long and took a sack. If it's not there, throw the ball away. Live to play second down.
We visited with Tom Herman yesterday. I said to him, after having done their Oklahoma Conference Championship game, Sam Ellinger is better than I thought. Tom Herman said, me too.
Yeah.
When he arrived at Texas, he didn't know that Sam Ellinger would be this good. He won a battle to be the starting quarterback with Shane Buechele.
This is a part of the field where you always have to be concerned with him running the football.
And they were ready for him, so he pitched it, and they're ready for Keontae Ingram as well.
Nice play by J.R. Reed, the safety. He read that quickly, ran across the field. Herring forced the pitch, but watch J.R. Reed, number 20, coming from the top. He's going to force him out of bounds for a loss of yardage on that play.
He's an excellent player. Wasn't highly recruited. Went to Tulsa and established himself as a college player. Transferred to Georgia, the son of the former NFL player Jake Reed. And back in his home state, he's from Frisco, Texas. Or was near playing against his home state, I should say, in the neighboring state of Louisiana.
Kirby Smart wanted a timeout. Didn't like the look.
Another big play upcoming. 5:27 to go in the half. It'll be 3rd down and 12.
The Allstate Sugar Bowl, brought to you by Allstate, reminding you that football season is mayhem. AT&T, more for your thing. That's our thing. The Ford F-Series, built Ford tough, built Ford proud. And Taco Bell's new Cravings Value Menu, value beyond belief.
We talked about the great history of the Sugar Bowl. How about that string of 4 years of most outstanding players? 4 years in a row. Herschel Walker, Dan Marino, Todd Blackledge, Bo Jackson. Mel Tucker, the defensive coordinator, gone to Colorado in this instance, cleared during the timeout. Kirby Smart, longtime defensive coordinator at Alabama, running the defense for Georgia on this big play.
That's Dan Lanning with him in the huddle, sharing in the duties, but Kirby taking control on this huge 3rd down play in the red zone.
Not curbing his enthusiasm, told his team, starve your distractions, feed your focus. They look a little more focused now. 3rd and 12, out wide. Keontae Ingram, a lot of ground to gain and didn't get anywhere near the first down. Adam Anderson, one of those true freshmen, playing more tonight because of the injuries ahead of him on the depth chart. Made a big play. Freshman out of Rome, Georgia.
We were talking during the break. This defense is just too fast for some of those perimeter plays to work. Unless you catch him in a blitz or you catch an inside coverage guy out of position, they're going to get to those perimeter plays pretty quickly. Good timeout. Good use of the timeout by Kirby Smart and a good stop.
There's Cameron Dicker, a 30-yard attempt. He's made 7 of his last 8. He's made 8 of his last 9. 4:37 to go until halftime at the All-State Sugar Bowl. Texas 20 and Georgia 7. Taco Bell is bringing the best of the regular season to the All-State Sugar Bowl by creating the Taco Bell Liv Moss student section. Today, Taco Bell picking up the tab for students from each school so that these passionate fans can root on their team. Enjoyed a spirited New Year's Eve in the Big Easy. A lot of these fans, some of our crew members last night. I think a few of them might have missed bed check.
You think?
You in charge of discipline? I know you were in bed.
I was.
Nice and early, a little hoarse today. I don't want anybody to think it was because you were out late. Dicker's kickoff is a touchback. No chance for Mecole Hardman, one of the best return men in the SEC.
No chance, I think, for we've seen some Georgia players get re-energized and re-engaged, and now it's time for DeAndre Swift to do that. He has not been on the field since his fumble. He's back out there for this possession, and this is a good opportunity to get him re-engaged because he's your leading rusher over 1,000 yards, and his ability to make people miss in the open field is second to none.
Well, after the loss at LSU, when Kirby Smart said to us yesterday, that was my fault. I told the offensive coaches we need to throw the ball more. We didn't need to. They've really gone heavily to the ground game with great success. Fromm's pass just off the fingertips of Jeremiah Holloman, the sophomore from Covington, Georgia, who was running with Devontae Davis.
Yeah, that's good coverage by Davis, but that's a ball that needs to be caught. I mean, you can't throw the football any better than that. And of all the receivers on this team, Holloman's the guy that has the best rapport with Jake Fromm. They came in the same recruiting class together. He's a great worker. Coaches want him to kind of take leadership of the wide receiver room. Just wasn't able to make that catch.
And Fromm said they spent a lot of time on the second unit practicing together. That was a big opportunity missed. Texas crowding the line. Holyfield bounces outside, lunges for the marker, chopped by Devontae Davis, and they'll mark Elijah Holyfield 1 yard short of the first down.
Elijah Holyfield coming into the game was 44 yards shy of 1,000 yards, and if he gets 1,000 yards, it's going to do something pretty amazing. Georgia would become the first school ever to have back-to-back seasons with 2 1,000-yard rushers with 4 different players. I mean, that's an amazing accomplishment in back-to-back years.
3rd down and 1. 4 minutes to go. Texas crowds the line. Good move by Holyfield. There's his mom, Tammy Petaway. We asked Elijah yesterday, the 12 children, any of them good athletes like you? He said, my brother, 21 years old, Eleazar, is the boxer in the group. He's a 155-pounder about to turn pro. Said it was great to grow up as the son of Evander Holyfield. Very proud of his dad. Look out! Swift fumbles again! And Gary Johnson tried to scoop and score rather than just recover the fumble. B.J. Foster again involved in a big play to knock it out, and now Swift needs a little love and a return to the sideline.
He has it securely, just loses it. B.J. Foster in there, but it wasn't like he put a helmet on the football. And everybody on that sideline trying to keep DeAndre Swift, one of their best players, keep his confidence up.
Well, as a team, they've rushed for 34 yards. I said earlier they average more than 251 a game. Play fake by Fromm. And a tackle, or was he down? Riley Ridley apparently not down. Devontae Davis didn't get him to the ground, and it's a big gainer for Georgia. P.J. Locke finally did make the tackle at the Texas 42.
Yeah, it looked like it was just going to be a completion short of the first down. Does it land on the player and bounce up? I think from that angle, it looked like Ridley was correct.
And Bill Lamagnier, our rules expert here in the booth, agrees. The replay booth does not stop it. Pac-12 officials, field and booth, and Jerry Meyerhoff, experienced replay official in the booth. 22-yard gain. 2:15 to the half. 2 timeouts for Georgia. From down the field and off the hands of Mecole Hardman, at least one of them.
Cade Mays was downfield quite a bit. Georgia lucky they didn't get a penalty on that play. I don't know if he didn't know the play or got confused, but it was a pass for sure. Cade Mays, who's in there at right guard, was clearly beyond 3 yards down the field on that play. Another one of those 5-star freshmen. Battled some shoulder injuries this year's played right guard and left tackle, but he has a bright future for this Georgia offensive line.
The veteran is the center, Lamont Gilliard, 42nd consecutive start. Holyfield could not break the tackle of Keandre Coburn, who lost his helmet. He's a true freshman out of Houston, so he knows the rules. Lost the helmet, has to go off. Clock stoppage with 2:02 in the half to let him get to the sideline, and now it winds.
Wouldn't be surprised to see a pass to DeAndre Swift here. He's fumbled it twice carrying the ball, but he is an outstanding receiver coming out of the backfield.
Had 6 catches in their loss to Alabama, the title game. 27 catches for the year. Makes him their number 3 receiver. Timeout Texas, 1:41 to go till halftime. This season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you, Allstate. Georgia on the edge of field goal range right now with 3rd down upcoming. Trailing 20-7, 1:41 to go in the half. 3rd down and 6 for Jake Fromm and the Bulldogs.
Interesting to see if Todd Orlando in that timeout decides to bring pressure on Jake Fromm. He's played a lot of zone on 3rd down. 3rd down's been a rough down for them this season. Particularly in the 4 games they lost, just about 50% teams were converting on 3rd down.
Losses to Oklahoma State, West Virginia, Oklahoma, and of course Maryland in the opener. It's a conversion. Riley Ridley with about 1.5 yards extra beyond the sticks. Plenty of time now for Georgia. At the 31-yard line, 1.5 minutes to go in the half and 2 timeouts. Georgia's 5 out of 7 now on 3rd down.
The guy they got to keep an eye on too, Isaac Nada, the tight end, has not been active in the passing game so far.
Stayed in the block, and there's an incomplete pass. Holloman has really come on during the year, having a tough time here in the 2nd quarter. Jim Chaney, the play caller. Up in the box. Mentioned Drew Brees earlier. Man, he knows very well. He was his offensive coordinator at Purdue. From up the seam and too high for Holloman. With Devontae Davis, senior. Honorable mention, all Big 12 in coverage.
Well, he had exactly what he wanted because the safety jumped on the crossing route of Hardman. So it's single coverage, just not a good throw by Jake Fromm. Threw the ball too high and too far behind him. If he throws that ball in front of him and lower, it's an easy touchdown for Holloman.
3rd down and 10. Swift, who's lost the ball a couple of times, back on the field. As Todd mentioned, excellent receiver. They bring a blitz right up the middle, and Fromm goes down. Anthony Wheeler, the outstanding senior linebacker, untouched through the middle of that Georgia offensive line.
Well, watch the center, Gilliard. He's going to point and just turn this way. Wheeler's going to come right up the middle. You got to protect inside first. Nobody picks up the closest guy that has a run at the quarterback. I got to think that's a bust on the protection. And Jake Fromm takes the sack. Most of the third downs prior to that, Todd Orlando has gone with zone. They've not pressured. And that's B.J. Foster being helped off the field. Again, remember, as Holly reported, Caden Stearns, their Big 12 freshman of the year on defense, did not play tonight. We thought we might see him. And whether or not this makes it more realistic that he plays, we'll see.
Foster has been impressive here in the first half. Stearns, as you saw, dressed out for the game. And now what will Kirby Smart do? It looks like they're going to punt. Blankenship has a big leg. He made a 55-yard field goal in the Rose Bowl win over Oklahoma last year, which is the Rose Bowl game record. This will be about 57 indoors. They have had a couple of fakes this year, and Georgia fans don't want the recap of that history. The punt, little Jordan Humphrey, the fair catch at the 9. Foster heading to the locker room Monday on ESPN. The College Football Playoff National Championship game, presented by AT&T from Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California, the home of the San Francisco 49ers. The Tide and the Tigers again. They played some compelling games in the 5-year history of the College Football Playoff. Played for the national title in Glendale, Arizona, 2015, won by Alabama. They played for the title again in Tampa, 2016. Clemson winning it on the late throw to Hunter Renfrow, and then Alabama, pretty one-sided game last year here in the semifinal. They struggled to throw the ball. Clemson under 150 yards passing. Much better throwing team, obviously, this year with Trevor Lawrence now. Much more balanced.
You know, people ask, is that you think it's good or bad for college football that it's Clemson and Alabama again? I think it's good because they're the two best. I mean, they're the two best teams, and if you want to get up there, you got to catch them. You got to find a way to beat them. You know, Georgia had Alabama beaten twice and didn't get it done. One in the national championship game last year, and then they had a 14-point lead on 2 different occasions in the SEC championship game and didn't get it done.
Neither team inclined to stop the clock here. Because we traveled around all year time, we saw all of the top teams in person, attended their practices. I think the 3 most impressive teams athletically were Alabama, Clemson, and Georgia. To me, the difference is this Georgia group is younger. 68% of the players are freshmen and sophomores. They'll be a factor again in the playoff in the coming years. And now there is a timeout.
But they are in a real fight right here tonight. I mean, there's no question. Now, it's obvious the absence of DeAndre Walker is huge. They're not being able to pressure Sam Ehlinger. They do have 1 sack, but the bigger story has been the Texas defense in stopping the Georgia running game. They only have 29 yards rushing in the first half. That's the biggest story of the football game so far.
They're 2 well-coached teams. You know, you watch what Todd Orlando's done here at Texas and where he's been previously. He has earned his reputation as a rising star in coaching, for sure, the defensive coordinator for Texas. Now, Georgia could force a punt if they could stop this 3rd down play. Trey Watson stacked up. Will Kirby Smart use his last timeout? Yes, he will, with 8 seconds to go. Julian Rochester and Tate Crowder combining on the stop.
Pretty good use of the timeouts. I mean, they've got Bruszewski now, a freshman punter, who's going to have to go against pressure here. There's not going to be time to run any kind of offensive play, so you're going to sell out on this punt rush and see if you can get to the punter.
And in this instance, if you're Ryan Bruszewski, you really just want to get the punt off.
Catch it and get it off. Just catch it and get it out of there. Don't worry too much about where it goes. But that's the main thing. Catch the snap first, get it out of there quick.
Of course, a lot of football to be played here tonight, but I think it's obvious Texas is on the way back.
They are. They still don't have the depth, I don't think, of an Alabama, Clemson, or a Georgia, but they're recruiting to that. And I think they've got the belief and the culture and the attitude in the right place right now. And they've been impressive here in this first half of play.
Well, they even kick it to Hardman. He's a very dangerous return man, leading the SEC. 20 yards per punt return. Great job by Buchevsky. In fact, it runs out the half. Former Australian rules football player, 52 yards. There is a flag down. It's at the 42 of Texas. Very few flags in the first half. Matter of fact, Georgia was not penalized at all. Texas twice for 10 yards.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 87, receiving team. That 10-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff to start the third quarter.
Well, and remember, Georgia's getting the football to start the third quarter, so any hopes of a good kickoff return to start the second half is kind of out the window at that point.
Tyler Simmons called for the penalty. Just 118 yards of offense in the half for Georgia. Great first half for Tom Herman and the Texas Longhorns. Holly?
Coach, you were worried about this rushing attack of Georgia, who averages over 200 yards a game on the ground, but just 29 yards. What have you been effective doing up front?
Well, I think the defensive staff is doing a good job of bringing pressure. We're playing really, really hard up front. And again, the first down pressure is something that, we knew we were going to have to do to load the box. And our guys have survived on the perimeter for the most part.
What do you want to try to establish more offensively in the second half?
We got to run the ball between the tackles a little bit better. We've got great field position. This is a really good team we're playing, and we can't settle for a bunch of field goals when we get down there in the red zone, so we're going to have to find a way to punch it in the end zone.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
The Indeed halftime report with Adnan and Jesse and Joey coming up right after these messages.
I just want to roll my sleeves up and start again.
And Ellinger runs it in, a la Tim Tebow. Touchdown, Texas. What a start. Ellinger eludes the rush. Ellinger, touchdown, Texas. From man wide open, on target to Brian Herrien for the Georgia touchdown. Welcome back to the All-State Sugar Bowl from New Orleans. Texas raced out to a 17-0 lead, and as we head for the second half, it's 20-7 in favor of the Longhorns. Welcome back. Happy New Year. Sean McDonough along with Todd Blackledge, joined again in a moment by Holly Rowe. The number that stands out in the first half, Georgia, leading rushing team in the SEC, just 29 yards rushing.
Yeah, I thought Texas was definitely more locked in to start the game. They played with great fire, great passion. You heard Tom Herman talk to Holly, and I think it'll be a different second half. I think we'll see a different Georgia team in the second half, but they've got to get DeAndre Swift going. He had -4 yards and a fumble.
Because of the penalty against Georgia at the end of the half, and Texas kicking off from midfield, Tom Herman tries the onside kick, and Georgia was ready for it.
I don't like it.
I don't either.
I don't like it at all.
Defense is playing really well. Kick a touchback, in at the 20. Here's a look at AT&T's giving their best. Bevo, an hour before the game, going after 62-pound Uga. And the defense feisty as well for the Longhorns at the start.
The run defense was outstanding. They crowded the line of scrimmage. They brought extra bodies. They tackled well. And again, they forced DeAndre Swift to put it on the ground twice. Only lost one of those fumbles. But I don't like giving Georgia this kind of field position. You had a huge field position edge in the first half, and that was a big part of your success.
Yeah, that's overthinking it a little bit, if you ask me. And here's Elijah Holyfield. That run gets him over 1,000 yards for the season. So both he and DeAndre Swift over 1,000, as Todd said in the first half. They're the first school to have back-to-back seasons with 2 1,000-yard rushers involving 4 different people.
4 different guys.
Sony Michel and Nick Chubb, both in the NFL. did it last year. I also don't like it. Almost says to your team, if you're Texas, I think even though we're ahead, we have to do things like this.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, you said that quite articulately, I might add.
Well, and here's the thing. As you see another typical kind of run play on first down that Texas had in the first half. Your advantage in field position first half, you started on your own 45, Georgia started on their own 24. You were in their territory. Part of that was the turnover. Part of it was the punter for Georgia putting his knee down. But why start the second half and risk that?
And Tom Herman told us yesterday, because they are a gain ground in small chunks, no 50-yard plays, they are a field position team. That's, to a large extent, got out of college football now with the way these offenses go up and down the field. But it's still particularly important for Texas. Brian Herrien, defense trying to back up its coach, and Brandon Jones, the safety, up near the line of scrimmage, involved in that play.
The last 3 games of the season, and that included the Big 12 championship game against Oklahoma, Texas's run defense was the best it had been all season. They held their opponents to about 119 yards per game. They held Oklahoma, who was a great running team, to under 150 yards. And they're doing it again here today.
3rd down and 11. Jake Fromm 9 out of 15 passing for 89. Todd Orlando looks like he's going to bring a blitz. 5 men come after Fromm. He throws on the run, up for grabs, and intercepted by P.J. Locke. Playing in his final game at the University of Texas, a huge interception to start the half for the Horns.
Jake Fromm is trying to extend the play. He's going to try to leave the pocket and make a throw, but watch Anthony Wheeler, number 45, right there. He is going to get to Fromm, and Fromm's not able to get enough on this throw. He underthrows his intended receiver, Ridley, and P.J. Locke, who's sitting back there as a middle safety, makes the interception.
Just the 3rd of his career. Wheeler is a factor as a rusher. He's been that tonight. He was 3rd on their team in sacks starting tonight. Isaiah Wilson, the redshirt freshman right tackle, is really the only offensive lineman who hasn't missed time due to injury this year, is down on the field. Isaiah Wilson, the right tackle, walked off under his own power. Giant man, 6'7", 340 pounds on the freshman All-SEC team. Sam Ehlinger, 10 out of 13 passing for 90 yards. He's rushed for 2 touchdowns, 7 carries, 27 yards. Throws a sinker and a little bit too low, off target for little Jordan Humphrey. Interesting name. His older brother, when he was born, wanted his mother to name him in honor of Michael Jordan. So her compromise was to name him Lil Jordan, L-I-L Jordan. We'll call him LJ around the Texas program. There's Andrew Beck to the 45, taken down by J.R. Reed.
Andrew Beck, one of the real valuable assets to this football team. Missed all of last year with an injury, was still voted captain. Very well respected, well liked, and with him coming back this year, it's really solidified that tight end position as a blocker. He's very versatile. They can use him as a receiver, flank him out. He's added a lot to the Texas offense.
Yeah, the offense coordinator Tim Beck, no relation, has talked that Andrew is really one of the most valuable players on their team. Big 3rd down and 5, 3 minutes into the second half. Some twisting up front from Georgia. They harass Ehlinger. He gets away again, does not get the first down. Chased down by Devontae Wyatt. And they'll mark him almost a full 2 yards short of the line to make.
Good stop by the Georgia defense. Right now, Texas has a chance to set that field position advantage again. They chose not to do it on the kickoff, and they have a chance to do it right here.
Well, we mentioned the defense backed up their coach. I'm sure they appreciated, he was willing to take a chance. And they've done that all year. Texas has only given up 7 points off turnovers the entire season. Fewest in the country. The onside kick wasn't a turnover, but the defense called upon to defend a shorter field than they might have. Buchevsky's punt and a fair catch by Terry Godwin. 38 yards on the punt. Looks like Wilson's coming back.
The Allstate Sugar Bowl, brought to you by Taco Bell's new Cravings Value Menu. Value beyond belief. And AT&T. More for your thing. That's our thing.
A couple of injury updates for Georgia. Their right tackle Isaiah Wilson is back and will return in this game. 6'7", 340 pounds. He returns in a big way. And also PJ Foster, who was taken to the locker room in the first half for Texas. He is back out. He played their last defensive series. Looks good out there for the Longhorns.
Well, I think that Georgia has to throw the football on first down. Right now they're averaging 2 yards a play on first down. Jake Fromm in the first half was 0 for 4 throwing on first down, but Texas is overloaded. They're inviting them to throw on first down because they're overloading the line of scrimmage to stop the run on first down. And I think Georgia's got to make that adjustment here in this possession.
We'll talk about the lack of the running game for Georgia. 39 yards, but Fromm's thrown for just 89 on 9 out of 16. He started 7 for 9 with a touchdown. He's 2 for 7 since with an interception. Elijah Holyfield. Athletic run for about 13 yards and a first down.
Now that's a good first down run. They have not been able to do that. Nice job by the left tackle, Andrew Thomas, with a nice block on that play.
His dad, 4-time heavyweight champ Evander Holyfield, here in New Orleans tonight.
Very graciously posing for a lot of pictures before the game. Saw him down there on the sideline.
Did you ask him for an autograph?
No, I did not.
He probably asked for yours. Sugar Bowl Hall of Famer Todd Blackledge tonight. DeAndre Swift got spun around, held on to the ball. He's fumbled twice, lost one. That's an 11-yard gain, and Georgia is on the move.
This is a nice job. Nice block by the wide receiver, Mecole Hardman, number 4. Sealed his man to the outside, and Swift, who has excellent cutting ability and vision, did a nice job cutting inside the block of his wide receiver. And that's got to be an encouraging sign for Jim Chaney to see DeAndre Swift with a run like that.
James Coley next to him. Quarterback coach, co-offensive coordinator. Riley Ridley taken to the boundary by Chris Boyd.
I looked at those first half stats, Sean, and I saw DeAndre Swift, 5 carries, -4 yards and a fumble, but he actually put it on the ground twice. And I saw Colin Johnson for Texas, no receptions. And I don't think either one of these teams can win the game if those two guys don't become a factor here in the last 30 minutes. They're just too important for their offenses to not be effective.
From a deep handoff after a lot of maneuvering. Mentioned Jim Chaney gives him a lot of latitude because of his intelligence at the line of scrimmage. B.J. Foster in on another stop. And here's 3rd down and a long one, nearly 2, about 1.5 yards.
This has not been a great part of the offense for Georgia through the year. Now, they brought Brian Harrion back in. It looks like they want him in on the 3rd down and short. But now they're putting him in a wing position. An unusual formation here. Empty backfield now for Jake Fromm.
Mecole Hardman back and forth. Blitz off the corner, and a good play by Georgia. They threw away from the blitz side to Brian Harrion. He got the first down just shy of midfield at the 48.
Brian Harrion's given him some good plays. He hasn't been in a lot of snaps, but he's been involved in every play that he's been in. Ran for a couple short yardage plays. Nice catch there on 3rd down.
And when Swift fumbled a couple times, that looked like it gave Harrion more of a chance. He's run hard. He's had a couple of catches. The godson of the late quarterback Steve McNair. First and 10. Texas crowds the line. Fromm given a lot of time. And an errant throw.
Yeah.
Most accurate quarterback in the SEC and 8th in the country in completion percentage. Has missed a couple that he wouldn't ordinarily hit. Looking for Terry Godwin there.
And you just don't get many opportunities like that. They had run the ball so well. They went max protection with a great play action fake, and they had a wide open receiver, and Jake Fromm overthrew him. That's 2 poor throws on single coverage down the field that Jake's had today, and that's not typical for him.
Justin Fields, the backup, who played in 12 out of 13 games coming into tonight, has not played at all. Brian Herrien, the ball carrier. And when we asked Jim Chaney yesterday, is there a package for Justin Fields? He said, I'm not sure. We like what Fromm does, getting us in the right plays. Yeah. They admire Justin Fields and his talent. They hope he stays. Kirby Smart said, we're trying to say to him, well, if you're going to go someplace as a transfer, you're going to sit out.
Right.
So why not sit here if you want a little separation in class between you and Jake Fromm and learn and get better? But as Kirby said, that's a hard thing to convince the #1 recruit in the entire country. He needs to sit and wait behind someone else. More pressure and another quick throw. That one off target for DeAndre Swift. And it's 4th down. And the punt team comes out.
Well, again, another poor throw by Jake Fromm. That's 2 on this drive. Not sure that one would have converted to 1st down. The other one would have been a touchdown. But just not what you expect to see from a guy who's coming into the game nearly 70% completion.
Jake Camarda, the freshman, to punt. Brandon Jones is back deep. 21-yard average. He had an 11-yard shank. First punt of the night went 53 yards, but he put his knee down before punting, and they marked the ball where his knee went down on a low snap. Nicole Hardman downs it. Good job by Camarda, and Texas will start at the 6. Nearly midway through the 3rd quarter at the All-State Sugar Bowl.
The odds of Texas are upon you. All the days are away.
We mentioned in the Big 12 championship game, Tim Beck, the offensive coordinator, told us Sam Ehlinger believes he was born to be the quarterback at the University of Texas. He announced his commitment in 2015 with that baby photo, hook 'em horns, from Austin Westlake High School, the alma mater of Drew Brees, honoring the Saints quarterback in his home stadium with a high school jersey. Tough field position for Ehlinger in Texas here. Keontae Ingram dropped by Jonathan Ledbetter. And when you break records set in high school by Drew Brees, you have done something.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, for the record, I'm not saying he's Drew Brees or Tim Tebow. He's an excellent quarterback and getting better, just a sophomore. He's out across the 11.
Yeah. This might be the most important down of the game for him right here. It's 3rd down. They're deep in their own territory. The first time the field position has really swung against him. He has to be smart with his decision right here.
With 7 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, he's on target. Lil Jordan Humphrey got leveled by Jawan Taylor, but held on, and they get the 1st down by a yard. So that dynamic duo has been reduced to just 1 tonight. It's 5th catch of the night for Lil Jordan Humphrey, and still nothing from Colin Johnson.
And again, 6'4", 225-pound slot receiver. He's used to getting banged a little bit. Makes that catch for the 1st down.
Both Jordan and Johnson are juniors. Juggling catch, and that might have been a lateral. So it's a good thing for Texas that Ingram held on. J.R. Reed, the tackle. Both Humphrey and Colin Johnson have put their names in for the evaluation from the NFL draft. Texas has 4 players in all who did that. Tom Herman thinks all 4 will come back, including the 2 receivers. Colin Johnson, we visited yesterday, said he would wait till after this game to make his decision. Ingram carries for another 1st down.
Well, this is impressive right now. They started inside their own 10-yard line. They've been methodical and physical running the football. Sam hits the big throw on 3rd down, and now they're outside to the 31-yard line.
3 receivers to the left. It's Watson. Yeah, would you believe when the night started, Todd, that Texas would have outrushed Georgia with 5.5 to go in the third quarter, and comfortably so? You mentioned earlier Texas, one of the worst rushing teams in the country coming in, and Georgia number 1 in the SEC. It's 108 to 68 on the ground in favor of the Horns.
No, I would not have thought that at all, but the 2 games that Georgia lost, they were outrushed by LSU and Alabama.
And their season low rushing total at LSU, 113 yards. Watson's been a good receiver as well. Brenton Cox and Tyson Campbell, the tackle. They go quickly, want to prevent a substitution, a blitz, and Ellinger runs through it, and they're out to midfield with another Texas first down.
Well, they're going to pull the backside guard, Vahe, right up in here, and then watch Beck, the tight end, get a block. This is just quarterback power run. I mean, this is by design all the way. Ellinger knows how to get that first down.
Now he's straight back to pass with plenty of time. Going deep for Devin Duvernay in single coverage, and he did not make the catch. The true freshman Tyson Campbell there for Georgia.
This is a good throw, and it's very good coverage by Tyson Campbell. He's right there. He finds the ball. He plays through the hands. You can't play the cornerback position any better than that.
Here's a 5-star recruit coming out of American Heritage High School this year in South Florida, Tyson Campbell. 2nd and 10. Ingram throwing the ball to the backs has been a nice wrinkle for Tim Beck, the offensive coordinator. Natrez Patrick made the stop for Georgia. Ingram's 3rd catch. Watson's had a couple. Here's Tim Beck, offensive coordinator, been at Ohio State, Nebraska. Very balanced offense for Texas tonight. Good mix of run and pass. It's a pass on 3rd and 6, a flag down, a deep throw, double coverage. Looks like 2 Bulldogs fighting each other for it, and J.R. Reed has the ball. There is a flag thrown where you'd expect an offensive holding penalty, but you never know.
It's probably going to be holding. And the interception, you hate to see that if you're Tim Beck, but it's almost like a punt as well. It's 3rd down.
Holding, number 77, offense. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is the interception. First down, Georgia.
Got Patrick Vahe for the hold right here, number 77. Yeah, that's a wrestling takedown. Easy call. And again, you hate the interception, but this is just as effective as a punt. Heck of a play by J.R. Reed. Does he have it? Wow.
Well, this is one that Texas might not want to go in its favor. Looks like the ball hits the ground if we continue to go.
Moving on the field.
Yeah.
And an interception.
But it'll be 4th down. You'd think that Texas would punt, and if you told Tom Herman if you're going to punt Georgia have the ball at the 10, you'd probably take that, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
We'll see if it is an interception when we come back. 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter at the All-State Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. After the replay review, here's the call from Michael Mothershed. Is it an interception?
After review, the ball hit the ground. It's an incomplete pass. The penalty is holding. Number 77 will still be declined. 4th down.
Yeah, definitely got it right on the replay. Heck of an effort by J.R. Reed. And, you know, for Texas, the best part about this is they at least have a chance to flip the field. They started this possession on their own 6-yard line. It looked like Georgia had a chance to back them up.
And they will punt. Certainly in plus field position at the Georgia 47. Tom Herman might have pondered going for it. Ryan Buchevsky on to punt. Texas ran 11 plays from its own 6. Took 3:41 off the clock. And it's going to wind up right around the 10 again. Georgia might have gained a foot or two. 36-yard kick. Wild Card Weekend starts Saturday, and it begins on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN Deportes at 4:30 Eastern Time. It's the Colts. What a year they've had, taking on the AFC champion Houston Texans from NRG Stadium. Coverage starts with postseason NFL countdown at 3 Eastern. Big part of the Colts' success, the return to health. Andrew Luck. Georgia native Deshaun Watson at the helm for Bill O'Brien and the Houston Texans. Both teams got to very rough starts this year and rallied to make the playoffs. Should be a fun game. Jake Fromm on first down. Off his back foot, man open, and the ball knocked away from Jeremiah Holloman by B.J. Foster. In for the injured Caden Stearns. And if Stearns much better than what Foster has seen tonight. Stearns and Foster, is that a mattress?
It's going to be a good safety duo in the Big 12, that's for sure. Perfect timing by Foster. He just read the eyes of Holloman. As soon as he saw him go for the ball, he just ripped that arm right between the arms of the receiver and knocked the ball out. Excellent play.
Tremendous performance by this Texas defense tonight. Georgia's not found a rhythm. DeAndre Swift ducks ahead to the 15 with P.J. locked there. Three and a half to go, third quarter. Third down, 7, just across the 14.
Georgia's 6 of 11, and that's, Texas has not been good on third down percentage-wise. Big opportunity here with the field position in their favor.
Isaac Donald went in motion. Almost looked like he cut up the field too early. Fromm knocked down short of the line to make by a couple. Jeffrey McCulloch Jr. from Houston, Texas there.
Texas showed pressure. They had 5 guys around the line of scrimmage. They dropped out and only rushed 3, and Jake Fromm had nowhere to go with the football. And then they made the tackle short of the first down. Another beautiful defensive stand by this Longhorn defense.
There's Jake Camarda. With little Jordan Humphrey back deep. Camarda has a big leg. He had 3 punts of more than 60 during the regular season. That's another boomer. 51 yards. And the fair catch by Humphrey at the 30.
The last time we saw this Texas defense in the Big 12 championship, Oklahoma gained 508 yards on them. And of course, Kyler Murray, the Heisman Trophy winner, had a spectacular game. Georgia, one of the most prolific offenses in college football, particularly in the SEC. Only 174 yards of total offense right now.
Well, Kirby Smart at halftime told Holly Rowe, we'll find out what we're all about in the second half. And this second half performance is a dud. Brief stretch in the first half where it looked like they were picking up some momentum. It hasn't lasted long. Ellinger, lots of time, weaving back near the line of scrimmage.
That's good disciplined coverage down the field by Tyson Campbell and the Georgia defense. They were trying to fake. They've thrown that little swing pass out to the backs a lot today. They tried to show that, fake it, and get a ball down the field. Georgia was not fooled by the action. Sam Ellinger had to scramble forward for no gain.
Is it too early if you're Texas to take a little more time off the clock?
I don't want to lose your aggressiveness. I get that. If you want to stay in the huddle maybe or that, but stay aggressive.
A big difference between last year and this for Texas. They've won close games. They haven't blown fourth quarter leads. Last year they lost 4 games that they had the lead in the fourth quarter. First down run for Trey Watson.
Yeah, the Georgia defense got sucked inside. Really nice block by the right tackle, Sam Cosmi. Evan Duvernay with a block on the perimeter and a nice run. And again, the running game, the biggest surprise of the football game is the Texas running game and run defense.
Rush for 131. Ehlinger, deep throw, up for grabs. There's Colin Johnson out of the witness protection program with Eric Stokes in coverage. First down inside the 25 at the 23.
Eric Stokes is in great position. The problem is Eric Stokes is listed at 6'1", and Colin Johnson is 6'6". He goes up and high points the ball. The ball's a little bit underthrown, and Colin makes the catch.
And Texas with a minute to go in the third quarter.
That's what they do with those two big receivers. They throw that football up and let them make a chance. You call it a 50-50 ball. The defender has a 50% chance of making the play, but with those big bodies and the timing, it's a high percentage play.
That's what Tom Herman said. That's how we make explosive plays. It's our best way to do it. The jump balls to the big receivers. This is a short throw to Colin Johnson. The officials say wind the clock, and they do not have to snap it again. Here in the third quarter, 55th bowl game for both Texas and Georgia. Only Alabama has played it more. They know that Georgia knows they don't have to snap it, so they hurried to the line and caught them.
Yeah, well, Kirby called a timeout, so he caught the timeout before the penalty was going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Caught them running people on and off to force the timeout.
Again, this is a defense that tries to substitute a lot by personnel, and Texas saw all this mass substitution, tried to get to the line and call the play quick, and Kirby said, we're going to get caught with too many guys on the field. Smart timeout by Kirby Smart.
That's not redundant. It's mayhem, right? It's all states mayhem.
It all flows together, doesn't it?
Kirby Smart, obviously very actively involved. He's always actively involved on the defense, even when Mel Tucker was there, but he has clearly taken the lead tonight.
Got to be alert for Ehlinger run here. He's got his tight end Beck to the right, three receivers to the left.
Ehlinger, he wanted to pull up and throw it perhaps to Beck.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And he ran out of bounds. So if Texas had elected not to go to that hurry up and try to catch Georgia, they could have run out the clock in this quarter. Now it looks like they're going to hurry and go for it on 4th and 1. Georgia lined up. Ehlinger, first down.
I think Tom Herman realizes we can't settle for field goals anymore. We have got to get a touchdown on this drive. We may not have the field position edge anymore like we've had it. We got to go for the touchdown.
All right, says Matthew McConaughey on the Texas sideline. On to the fourth quarter of the All-State Sugar Bowl. Back after these messages.
ESPN celebrating 150 years of college football.
We look forward to that coming in this new year. Certainly there'll be a lot of a review of the history of these two great programs. Meeting for just the 5th time in Texas. The underdog leading 20-7 and on the move as we start the fourth quarter. Sean McDonough, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe. Another night, Sam Ehlinger performing well, passing and running, and Andrew Beck a little too anxious.
Yeah, there was a shift by the Georgia defensive line, and I think it kind of caused that reaction by Andrew Beck.
Ball start, number 47, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
The third penalty on Texas. Georgia has yet to be penalized in the ball game.
First down and 15 from the 16. Ehlinger lofts it up, one of those jump balls, and Colin Johnson couldn't snare it with Eric Stokes all over him.
Eric Stokes played tough on that one. This is a good throw by Sam. He beats the blitz. He gives his guy a chance. And I thought Colin Johnson had his hands on it, but Eric Stokes just fought the ball out of there. Excellent effort by Eric Stokes.
Texas goes quickly. You know, to me, Ty, that looks like they're trying to set up another one of those Tebow-esque plays where the quarterback starts toward the line like it's a run. He pulls up and throws the little pop pass. A couple times today it looked like Ellinger might do it.
Well, they kind of did on the run to the right sideline in the third quarter. At the end of the third quarter, looked like he was looking to throw to Beck, but it wasn't there. I like this formation. We saw this in the Big 12 championship where they put Humphrey and Colin Johnson on the same side of the field. So he checked and Georgia checked out of their defense.
4 seconds to snap it. Ellinger steps away from the rush. Takes off running. Ellinger gets walloped and continues to fight. It looked like he got the first down.
Wow, this is a tough dude now. I'm going to tell you what. I don't know if Georgia has played a quarterback that runs with this kind of physicality. He is not going down. You know, Kirby Smart told us this in our meeting. He said there's no games after this. The guy's going to run the football. They don't have to worry about resting him. And Tim Tebow has to love that because this guy is a physical, competitive guy.
There he comes again, feeling his way. The official on the near sideline says he's not in.
Wow.
But from up here, it looked like he was. But the line judge, Dale Keller, obviously well positioned. Was the knee down before he broke the plane?
Wow, we're going to take a look at that.
Texas fans booing. And it will go upstairs.
Yeah.
The ruling on the field is that the runner was short of the goal line. The previous play is under further review.
It's probably good for Sam Ellinger to get a little break here, get some water, get some air in the lungs, take another look at it.
Some pylon cam.
There's his butt down. Where was the football? It wasn't a knee. His rear end hit the ground. He's protecting the football with 2 arms, so he's not reaching the ball past the goal line.
Well, he has taken some shots. That one from Richard LeCount. Let's bring in Bill Lamagna, our rules expert. What'd you see, Bill?
Well, as you said, his rear end hits the ground. He's got the ball tucked in tight. It appears that that ball is just short of the goal line. So I think we've got a pretty good call by that wing official, marking him short.
Yeah. Well, certainly we haven't seen anything conclusive to change the call. At least I haven't. Would you concur with that? Well, obviously you would, because you already said you thought he was down.
I've got the same shot as the replay booth on the one, and it went
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called. First down.
I believe it would be second down, wouldn't it?
Should be second.
Second down.
Yep.
All right.
Well, again, Tom Herman went for it on 4th down knowing that a touchdown is essential on this drive. At this point in the game, you've got this team, this higher ranked team on the ropes. You cannot settle for a field goal. It has to be a touchdown. I would expect to see Sam Ellinger run the football again.
And you know he wants to. There he goes to the left. Still no signal. And he didn't get in this time either, apparently. He was following Daniel Young. Backup running back in there as a lead blocker.
Daniel Young is the biggest back they have. He's protecting the football.
Will be the 3rd time we'll be at a charm. No.
Wow,
And now the ball's
Georgia
out.
defense.
Although his forward progress had been stopped. Tyler Clark helping yank him back. Brenton Cox in there as well.
How about the Georgia defense? Bowing up at the right time. expecting the 230-pound quarterback to run, holding the point at the line of scrimmage, and bringing up another 4th down decision for Tom Herman.
So what do you do? If you kick the field goal and it's a chip shot, that's a 16-point lead. That's 2 touchdowns and two-point conversions Georgia would need. I know you've been very physical and you pride yourself on that last night, all season long and all night tonight. So that's what they're doing. And Ehlinger lunging into the end zone. Looked like he was wobbling as he got to the goal line, but he made it on 4th down. He got all 4 carries and scores his 3rd touchdown of the night.
He didn't get a full head of steam. He had to elude Richard LeCount right in the backfield. Now, there's the knee down, the right knee, but the ball looks like this time he extended it. The knee is down, but the ball looks to be extended as the knee is down to the white chalk.
Well, the Georgia fans want a replay review, and of course it will be viewed.
On the field is a touchdown. The previous play is under further review.
No knee down yet. Now it is.
Right.
Tough to see the ball, but.
So the knee's down there. The ball is in his right arm, and unlike the play before where he had it tucked in tight, this time he's reaching the ball as he's going down. It was called a touchdown.
You can't see any of the ball behind his elbow, so all the balls from his elbow closer to the goal line. There wasn't much room from his elbow to the goal line, so I would think this would stand as called, Bill LeMonnier.
I totally agree with you, Sean McDonough. We do not have indisputable video evidence. They've had some really tight goal line plays here. This play, I believe, is going to stand. Touchdown.
Pylon Cam is a good friend to the replay people.
We've had some excellent shots the last couple of games from our camera people. Just outstanding.
Kirby Smart hoping for good news. It doesn't seem to any of the 3 of us up here that is likely to happen in this instance, and now they have a lot of work to do.
Yeah. But a heck of a goal line stand nonetheless. I mean, 4 plays, 4 cracks at it.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called.
And in the end, even though it took 4 plays, it works to the benefit of Texas. They took more time off the clock.
Right.
And give Tom Herman credit. I think a lot of coaches in that instance would have gotten to 16. But now it's a 3-score game, and they're going to go for 2 points. We talked a lot yesterday about physicality. Used that word a lot. And I think he believes in this team's physicality and toughness, and they did eventually win the battle at the goal line, just enough. 14-play drive, the try for 2, and Johnson with Tyson Campbell all over him managed to take it in.
They sent 4 wide receivers to the wide side of the field. They isolate Colin Johnson one-on-one against Tyson Campbell, and they say, big fellow, make a play.
11:49 to go. Texas with a 3-touchdown lead. Three rushing touchdowns tonight for Texas quarterback Sam Ehlinger, giving him 16 for the year. That's the single season Texas record, which was 14 by Vince Young and Don Wigginton. Played back in 1971. Here's Mecole Hardman. Georgia desperately needs a big return, and it's a good return to the 34. Time for our Capital One rewarding performance.
Well, the Texas defense is who we are saluting at this point, causing some confusion. Gilliard, the center, trying to direct pass protections. Anthony Wheeler slips in for the sack, unaccounted for, showing different looks, different stunts. Anthony Wheeler again forcing the underthrow that was intercepted by P.J. Locke. This time they're showing pressure, dropping out, forcing Jake Fromm up in the pocket, tackling him short of the first down. Georgia's offense held to 174 yards and only 7 points so far.
And they need to operate with urgency now, down by 3 touchdowns. Good catch. It's Charlie Werner on a ball thrown behind him. And they're into Texas territory to the 45-yard line. 22-yard pickup.
And going up tempo, Charlie Werner, nephew.
Check down to DeAndre Swift. And he's out of bounds, taken out by Anthony Wheeler at the 40.
I was going to say Charlie Werner, nephew of Scott Werner, who was one of the honorees in the Sugar Bowl Hall of Fame. Defensive back, had a couple interceptions in their national championship win over Notre Dame.
Todd Blackledge, also part of the class enshrined tonight. DeAndre Swift, nifty moves. We talked to Charles Omenihu yesterday. He said, I've never seen a running back that I played against who can cut and change direction as well and quickly as DeAndre Swift.
Well, the key to his cutting is he does not slow down or lose speed when he cuts. That's what's so unique about it. He wasn't 100% healthy for half the season this year. Had surgery on both groins last year, but the last 6 or 7 weeks he's been much better.
And 4 games over 100 yards rushing. Deep throw from, and the catch not made by Terry Godwin. P.J. Locke had the coverage. A long way to go in this one, Todd, but it's way too simple. If people analyze this game as well, Georgia just wasn't into it. They thought they should have been in the playoff. You know, Texas has demonstrated it's a really good team, has outplayed them, has earned the score such as it is right now.
They've executed well. They've been more physical. They've made more plays.
And more talent coming as they're trying to uptick the recruiting just as Georgia did. Here's Jeremiah Holloman inside the 5-yard line. 31-yard play. Georgia swiftly on the move. 10.5 to go in the 4th quarter.
Tight formation. Holloman gets on the crossing route. Chris Boyd got bumped a little bit by Isaac Nauta. That knocked him off coverage. And Jake Fromm hit him.
And Jake Fromm hits Mecole Hardman for the Georgia touchdown. Well, they needed to go quickly, and they did.
Well, that time the tempo caught Texas. P.J. Locke was responsible for coverage. Watch P.J. Locke. He's right here. He's responsible for that guy right there. He's too late getting there. The ball snapped, and Jake Fromm gets his team in the end zone very quickly.
Yeah, 1 minute and 24 seconds to go 67 yards in 6 plays. Hardman's 7th touchdown catch of the year. And here's Rodrigo Blankenship.
You know, watching a couple of those games this afternoon, Kentucky had a big lead on Penn State. LSU had a big lead on UCF, and both those teams fought back. They didn't win, but they sure made it interesting in the 4th quarter.
The Allstate Sugar Bowl, brought to you by Allstate, reminding you that football season is mayhem. Mercedes-Benz vans, the all-new Sprinter, built for you. And Gatorade Thirst Quencher, the proven sports fuel.
Look at the Sugar Bowl most outstanding players from the last 4 games. Georgia with a touchdown to tighten it up. 28-14 Texas, 10:25 to go. And here's tonight's PlayStation Player Index. The night for Sam Ehlinger, who has set the single season Texas record for rushing touchdowns by a quarterback. He's also tied the Sugar Bowl game record for rushing touchdowns by a quarterback, 3.
19.
Set by Jack Mildren. I know it wasn't you. 1972 for Oklahoma against Auburn. Of course, he was a great running quarterback.
Yeah.
Rodrigo Blankenship, it's a touchback. Holly?
Well, you guys are talking about, did Georgia want to be in this game? I can tell you one Georgia player who wants to be in this game, and that is their junior safety, J.R. Reed. He has shown great leadership over here on the bench. Before the offense started that series, he was saying, look, we're going to run down and score right now. It's up to us to get the ball back. He's trying to get his guys fired up. He's being emotional, showing leadership over here on the sideline, just trying to get some juice on this Georgia defense right now when they need it most.
Certainly a team leader. One of the best players on that Georgia defense. Last 2 possessions for Texas, they've run 11 plays and 14 plays. And that's a drop. Andrew Beck, a little bit about a 7-yard gain.
Andrew Beck looked like he wasn't expecting the football. It was a little bit low, but he looked like he wasn't expecting the ball to come to him. I like throwing on first down. I like that Texas wants to stay aggressive, but when you don't connect, 2nd and 10 plays into the hands of the defense.
You mentioned Texas has done a much better job protecting leads this season, but one of the great games of the year in college football in the regular season, their battle with Oklahoma when they squandered a 21-point lead in the 4th quarter and then won it in the final seconds on a field goal. Trey Watson, Georgia players think the ball's out. It appears Texas and Watson got it back. Elijah Rodriguez also there, the guard. It's a first down for the Longhorns at the 37-yard line.
Ran a counter play. The ball did come out, but Watson got it back. They pulled the backside guard and tackle. They've not shown that action too much. Really strong, powerful run for the first down by Watson, who's having himself a heck of a ball game. 84 yards now, 14 carries.
Texas has rushed for 168. Their average is 151. They're doing this against the number 5 team in the country. And they beat Oklahoma in the regular season. The Sooners also ranked number 5. If they can pull this off, Todd, it'll be one of the biggest wins in a long time. Canvassing some of the Texas people, perhaps the biggest win since they won the national championship in 2005.
Vince Young, the USC, incredible football game. The pinnacle, the height of the Texas program under Mack Brown at that point.
2nd and 7. This time Ellinger in no hurry as we approach 9 minutes to go. They brought pressure. He got a block from Keontae Ingram and turned the corner and then slid down in bounds, but short. And they're going to bring the ball back where the slide started, which is the rule in part to protect quarterbacks in college football. And they put it back at the 43, so they'll need 4 on 3rd down.
Well, again, you've got Colin Johnson and Lil Jordan Humphrey on the same side to the short side of the field up here.
Georgia runs a blitz, and this time they get home. Ellinger wrapped up and taken down back inside the 40-yard line.
Well, they ran the twist inside. Devontae Wyatt's going to come on the twist. The linebacker's coming this way. Watch Devontae Wyatt come on the twist. He's the guy that's going to come free to the quarterback. Patrick Vahe, the left guard, late on that pickup in the twist. Well executed by the Georgia defense, and they'll get the football back quickly.
They don't have many sacks. You mentioned earlier 22 all year entering tonight. That was their 2nd of this one, and a huge one. Ryan Buchevsky punts. Almost took a little too much time. Halfway through the 4th quarter, and a good directional kick out of bounds inside the 20. He's had a good night tonight. That's 48 with no return. Georgia well below its season averages, but they had by far their best drive of the night on the last possession to make it a 2-touchdown game. Their fans fully engaged now. Exactly midway through the 4th quarter, Texas, which has not trailed tonight, leads 28-14. Jake Fromm, 16 for 27 for 165. 2 touchdown passes and interception. A blitz up the middle. Gary Jackson takes him down with help from Chris Nelson.
Well, another first down blitz. Todd Orlando calling it again. Here's Gary Johnson. Times it perfectly. And they just bring more guys than Georgia can block. Kind of backs into him and then gets there along with Chris Nelson to get the sack.
Nelson, a team captain, playing in his last game. Fromm blasted as he threw. B.J. Foster came on a safety blitz and delivered a big hit. Todd Orlando coming after the Georgia quarterback.
2 plays in a row. This is from the short side of the field. He comes off the slot. Good clean hit. And I'll tell you what, Jake Fromm feels that on this critical third down play right now.
Would you come after him again? Georgia's done a terrible job up front with the running backs picking up these blitzes.
I wouldn't blitz on this one. It's 3rd and 13. Play zone, make him throw underneath.
Creeping up. They rush 5 from too deep. Intended for Tyler Simmons, who didn't seem to pick up the ball. Chris Boyd had the coverage, and Georgia has to punt.
Well, they did bring pressure, and the receiver has to see that. If he sees that, he's got to look for the ball quicker. Jake Fromm got rid of it. The receiver was not ready for it. How about that? 3 plays in a row. Todd Orlando said, okay, we're going to go get him, and we're going to see if he makes a play, he makes a play, but we're not going to let him go down the field like he did the last
thing we've
possession.
seen from the Texas coaches tonight, Todd, they're playing with a nothing-to-lose mentality. Going for it on 4th down, the onside kick to start the half, blitzing with the lead, trying to keep the pressure on. Big punt again by Jake Camarda, and a fair catch made by little Jordan Humphrey. 54-yard punt. Here's a look at tonight's All-State mayhem moment, and Todd, for Georgia in the first half especially, a few mayhem moments, including the knee down on the punt snap, wiped out a 53-yard punt by Jake Camarda. DeAndre Swift's fumbled a couple of times, lost 1.
Yeah, and both of those first 2 plays, this interception happening in the 3rd quarter, but field position has been such a huge advantage for Texas all night, and those plays all factored in that advantage for the Longhorns.
We have the ball back with 6:43 to go, leading 28-14. Sam Ellinger's been the star of the night on offense for Texas. He gave it off to Trey Watson, who's had a very nice night in his last game for the Longhorns, and he's ahead to the 40 for a first down gain of 5 yards.
Yeah, I mean, Watson's got 89 yards rushing. He's running hard in between the tackles. You know, that's what Tom Herman told Holly at halftime. We've got to get better, have a little more success running between the tackles, and they've done that here in the second half. There's Trey Watson, the graduate transfer from Cal. He started 8 games in 3 seasons in Berkeley, and has been a starter the whole season this year. So a nice cap to his career.
They stick with him. And he's tackled around the legs by Tyler Clark. And Kirby Smart's not going to let the ball game go too much deeper before he starts using his timeouts. As a matter of fact, he's going to do it right now, and he's left with 1.
Second charge timeout, Billy.
Third down and 4 upcoming. Monday on ESPN, we'll have the College Football Playoff National Championship game presented by AT&T, Levi Stadium, Santa Clara, California. Alabama and Clemson, number 1 versus number 2. Each team made a change from the quarterback of a year ago. Tua Tagovailoa took over from Jalen Hurts before the year started. They went to Trevor Lawrence early in the year at Clemson. And both teams got what they want.
Yeah.
More effectiveness in the passing game.
Well, and the 2 semifinal wins. I mean, both quarterbacks played outstanding football games. Notre Dame took the run away early. Trevor Lawrence lit them up in the second quarter, and a healthy Tua was unstoppable in the other game.
Todd and I will be there with Holly for the ESPN radio broadcast. Third down and 4. Is that a catch? Yes. Little Jordan Humphrey able to take it in. That's a big conversion. on a 6-yard gain.
Just such a big body. He runs that slant. Sam throws it low and to the inside, and pretty hard to defend. If you don't disrupt him off the line of scrimmage. That ball was a sinker too. Sam's thrown a couple sinkers, but that one was only a 6-yard route, so it wasn't too low.
At it again to make sure it was a catch by Humphrey.
And now Texas going to use as much clock as they can.
Trey Watson.
Sam Ehlinger tonight has carried the ball 21 times. That's his season high. He had 19 carries in the Red River game against Oklahoma, the game they won in October. And we knew, I mean, that this is the last game, and he wants the ball. Not sure how many more times he'll carry it in this one, but he's set a season high already today.
Trey Watson with that minimal gain, enough to give him 93 yards for the game, matching his high of the season. He had that against Iowa State as well in a mid-November game. Keontae Ingram takes over. A little dancing behind the line of scrimmage, did well to spin ahead for a couple, and now Kirby Smart will use the last timeout after the Malik Herring tackle with 4:20 to go.
It's a 30-second timeout for final.
Talked about Ehlinger. We've talked about Watson. This offensive line has held up. They've played well tonight, and this year they've had much better continuity with their offensive line. Last year they had to use 8 different starting lineups, plus they had lost their tight end Andrew Beck before the season started. They didn't really have a tight end, a blocking tight end. This year they've had 3 different starting combinations, but the same group for the last 8 games. And they have held their own. Yeah.
I mean, Patrick Vahe, the left guard, honorable mention All Big 12. This is 45th and final start. Zach Shackelford, the center, first team all conference. It really helped when Calvin Anderson, the big left guard, left tackle, number 66, was a grad transfer from Rice. He was 2-time all conference USA. Elijah Rodriguez, the right guard. Samuel Cosme, talented freshman right tackle. It's a good group. Big play again. They just converted on 3rd down. Just a 3-man rush, a quick slant. Humphrey bounces off the hit and keeps on going. And finally taken out of bounds on the far sideline with a 1st down. 16-yard gain.
Well, this time they ran the slant from the wide side. You see Beck. Now that could be offensive pass interference. Andrew Beck ran into the defender that was responsible for covering Lil Jordan Humphrey. It was not called, and Texas got the conversion.
Adam Anderson had the first shot at him and did not get him down. And they're starting to feel it in the Texas sections here at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Under 4 minutes to go, clock running, no timeouts for Georgia. Keontae Ingram, ball protection obviously priority number 1 now for anybody handling it for Texas.
I went back and looked at that play. That was not a block downfield because Lil Jordan Humphrey came right back to the line of scrimmage. It was by design. He caught it right at the line of scrimmage, so those guys can block downfield. Well executed for that big conversion.
Three minutes to go. Trey Watson loses yardage. You hear the Texas fans chanting overrated at Georgia. To their credit, we talked to them yesterday. They didn't make a big deal about not getting the college football playoff. I think Jonathan Ledbetter, the defensive end, said it very well. We had 2 losses. Notre Dame didn't have any.
Yeah.
He understood. There would have been a lot of angst around the country if a 2-loss Georgia team got in ahead of the other teams that did get in. And he said we had our chance against Alabama in the conference championship game. We didn't do it. So let's go out here tonight and prove how good we are. They're not going to do that. They blitz. Ellinger, the dump off to Colin Johnson. Wrestled down by Eric Stokes, but Georgia can't stop the clock, and they're under 2 minutes to go.
Tom Herman probably let this one go all the way down and call a timeout. When the play clock, he's got 30 seconds on that play clock, so he'll use all that time.
One of the players on the field for Texas gesturing at the crowd to make some noise, and they are obliging the Longhorn players.
This is an impressive win for Texas, it appears. I mean, it was a huge win when they beat Oklahoma in their rivalry game. They had a couple other tough games. You know, they played 9 one-possession games this year. They went 6-3 in those games. That was a big turnaround from the last couple years.
Timeout, Texas.
They beat 4 teams that were ranked during the course of the year. And perhaps a little bit ahead of schedule for Texas.
Yeah.
And Tom Herman talked about there's still a big need. They don't have the talent level like a Georgia, Clemson, and Alabama, although tonight their talent level was more than good enough.
Well, the layoff really helped them, the rest, because they had a lot of guys that played a lot of snaps for lack of depth at certain positions. So that layoff and ability to rest was evident with how fast and fresh they looked tonight.
You like this decision? Kick the field goal?
Yeah, I do.
Make sure the execution is good. Snap and hold were good, but the kick is wide right from Cameron Dicker, so very faint hope on the Georgia side. They get the ball back with 1:10 to go, down by 2 touchdowns.
And no timeouts.
No timeouts. I think, as we said earlier, the Georgia talent level, we didn't see it tonight.
Right.
And there's a lot of things going on. Again, give the credit to Texas. They won the game.
For sure.
But as we've traveled around and you just look at who's won over the years in college football, it has a lot to do with who has the highest rated recruiting classes.
Yeah.
Georgia's had them. They're having another. And I think next year there will be, don't you think, top
Absolutely.
5 for sure preseason?
Absolutely. Well, and as you said, I mean, 88 of their 129 players on their roster, 68% are freshmen or sophomores. I mean, that's, they are built to be good for a long time.
Fromm has to check it down. That really doesn't do them any good, although there's a flag down. Isaac Nada hit up high by Devontae Davis.
Well, this is probably going to be called a targeting foul.
Personal foul, targeting, number 18, Texas. 15-yard penalty. That's an automatic first down. The previous play is under further review.
You can't lead with the crown of your helmet. I mean, that's always going to get flagged, and rightfully so. Kind of looked like he ended up hitting him with his shoulder or his back, but.
Well, Bill LeMonnier, after our game in Dallas the other day, got rave reviews all over the country. I don't want to jinx it again, but what do you think, Bill?
He comes in, crown of the helmet is forcible contact there. This call's going to stand. I think there's a point you made there. It does glance off to the side, but the contact point there is crown of the helmet.
You know, and I get the rule. I guess I just think, you know, there's a minute left in the ball game, and I don't know.
What, there's a minute left, so you go ahead and take a headshot?
No.
No, and I know you're not saying that.
But I don't. It did. I've seen worse.
Yes.
I've seen worse targeting fouls than that.
And I agree with you on that, Todd. I agree.
Yeah. I think Bill is dealing with his newfound celebrity very well. Clock stop with 1:02 to go. Here's the verdict.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Number 18 is disqualified.
So early end, but not by much, to his career. And he's been a part of this terrific defensive performance tonight. Senior from Miami, Devontae Davis. Made his 26th career start tonight. You know, the veteran players we talked to said they want to be known for leaving the legacy of winning a New Year's Six game, getting the 10th win, getting Texas back to where Texas has been in the past and Longhorn fans believe should always be. Fromm takes it down. That's going to be his longest run of the season. And here comes more flags, and you hate to see this.
Yeah. Now that's Anthony Cook, the freshman.
Who I think just came in for Davis. He's listed as the backup, and we haven't seen him on the field much, and flags fly everywhere as the officials step in.
Texas is losing some of their composure here. Bad penalty on Anthony Cook, and I think Gary Johnson might get called for a personal foul, maybe even taking a swing at the end of the play. This is not what you want if you're Tom Herman.
No.
The slide, he's given up his body. You can't hit a quarterback sliding like that. I mean, you just can't do that. And then after the hit, there was some more pushing. I think some of the Georgia offensive linemen upset about what was going on. And there's the penalty by Gary Johnson that's going to get called.
I think every official threw his flag at the end of that play. There were many flags you'd ever see all over the field.
Well, Georgia's going to get really good field position after the end result of this. They've got a minute, just under a minute. If they score quickly, they're going to have an opportunity for an onside kick. So for Tom Herman, I mean, they still have some football to play here, and they've lost some composure as well as a couple key players in the last minute.
There are fouls on both teams. Holding, number 79, offense. Personal foul, targeting, number 4, defense. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 33, defense. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced. Because of the targeting, the previous play is under further review.
Well, Bill LeMagne, you think that's targeting? I know you're not supposed to hit him when he's sliding. It's a personal foul.
The call for the late hit after the slide is a perfect call. Did he hit him in the head neck area? Did he hit him with the crown of the helmet? I don't see that. So I would want replay to take the targeting call off.
And then if that's the case, the two penalties offset, and then the extra penalty would be enforced.
Actually, the late hit on the quarterback's a dead ball foul.
No, so it was a holding on Georgia.
That's correct.
And it was okay.
So you'd have the 10-yard penalty for the holding. Then you'd have the offsets that would occur because of the late hit and the unsportsmanlike conduct.
But those were both on Texas.
They were both on Texas.
Oh, they were both on Texas.
But my question is, if the booth says it wasn't targeting, but it should be a personal foul.
The personal foul for the late hit will stand. Now you have the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Right.
Those will both be enforced.
The only thing that will happen out of this is either Cook is out of the game or not.
Yes. Okay. And I really think they need to take this targeting call off the board.
Cook plays very little. True freshman from Houston. A little more time for Scott Van Pelt to practice his ad-libs tonight. Sports Center coming a little more slowly than it looked like it might a few minutes ago. Always enjoy watching Sports Center with SVP. We have the Ford postgame show coming up as well. It's been such a great night through most of it for Tom Herman. He certainly doesn't want anything to tarnish one of the great wins in many a year for Austin and the Texas Longhorns if this
the holding
stands.
Foul is a live ball foul on number 79. That 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the previous spot. After the play, personal foul targeting number 4 defense, unsportsmanlike number 33 defense. By rule, those penalties are canceled. However, number 4 is still disqualified. That's the first unsportsmanlike conduct foul on number 33.
Well, let's bring in Bill LeMagne. I don't understand that.
No, if both those fouls are against Texas, and they're both dead ball fouls, they need to be enforced.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all.
And result in an automatic first down. I think they're correcting it now.
Yeah, I think they realize, and it's too bad for these guys too, Bill, because I think it's been a terrific night of officiating in the replay booth, and then they got this skirmish to deal with, and they're not sorting it out well the first time around.
I agree with you. They've had a good game both on the field and the replay booth, and they're out of sync right now.
The targeting foul will be enforced 15 yards, and the unsportsmanlike foul, that is declined. But that still will count as his first unsportsmanlike conduct foul. It will automatic first down.
I still disagree with that. If all the dead ball fouls are against one team, you continue to enforce those fouls.
Oh, boy.
Wow. Please don't speak again.
Well, I think Kirby is trying to get an explanation. I mean, okay, let's play football.
So through it all, the ball winds up at the 39-yard line. It's 1st and 10. There's 54 seconds left. As you said, a quick touchdown here and a onside kick, and it's all of a sudden a seat squirmer. And they're moving the ball a little more. They've moved it to the 34-yard line now. So Jalen Green is the newest entry. He's number 3 on the bottom of your screen there on the 3 on the 30-yard line. He's a true freshman.
Well, they're playing a 3 deep kind of safety net coverage behind the corners.
From throws, and it is up for grabs and incomplete. Wow. Battle for the ball. Brandon Jones and Jeremiah Holloman. And it hits the turf with 46 seconds to go.
Brandon Jones was in really good position to get an interception. He just couldn't get over the big body of Holloman. I mean, he timed it perfect. He just couldn't get over the top of him to get his hands on the football. I think you almost have to throw something underneath here. Maybe get it to DeAndre Swift and see if he can make some people miss out in space.
No timeouts for Georgia, of course. If they can gain past the line to make the clock would stop momentarily to move the chains. Fromm barely stayed on his feet and did well to get rid of it. There is a flag down. Isaac Nada, the intended receiver. And it's thrown behind the line of scrimmage.
I think they're going to get a hold on Isaiah Wilson blocking on Charles Omenihu.
What a couple of weeks Omenihu has had if this score stands. Texas wins. We talked to him yesterday. He just graduated a couple of weeks ago.
Offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still second down.
In 3.5 years in sports management, he said it was one of the greatest thrills of my life. He said, you can imagine, getting a college degree. He said, no, knowing that I'll never have to take a test or write a paper again.
Yeah.
The degree was nice too. He'll head on to the Senior Bowl. 3-man rush, 2nd and 20. Man wide open. Godwin, and he's beyond the line to make to stop the clock. He's to the 22-yard line. 33 seconds. Fromm. Over the middle. Swift. Will he get the line to make? Yes. Will he get the end zone? No. He got to the 5. Banged down by Brandon Jones. Anthony Wheeler in there too. 22 seconds. Texas not lined up. Fromm dumps it off. Touchdown. DeAndre Swift with 14 seconds to go on a 5-yard touchdown pass.
They're just going to slip DeAndre BC. Look at the confusion here. That's a mayhem moment for Texas. And a nice job of Jake Fromm finding DeAndre Swift out of the backfield.
So here's Blankenship to try the extra point. Then there'll be an onside kick attempt. Georgia with a little help from some defensive penalties by Texas. Clinging to hope with 14 seconds to go.
Well, you put your best receivers out here on your hands team. I would expect to see both Colin Johnson and Lil Jordan Humphrey trying to field this onside kick. Not a high percentage play, but every now and then you see it happen. It's really the second bounce that is most important. You got to get that second bounce to go up in the air.
Rodrigo Blankenship tees it up. I believe Texas called timeout just as Blankenship started toward the ball.
Second charge timeout, Texas. It's a 30-second timeout.
And as we mentioned, as soon as we're done here in New Orleans Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt, we'll take a look at what these two teams will take into the offseason. Urban Meyer on his final game with Ohio State went out a winner today in the Rose Bowl, and the worst beat of all the college football bowls. Always an entertaining segment, unless you were on the wrong side, I suppose, of those beats. Sports Center with SVP. Next, right here on ESPN and the ESPN app. For the moment, it doesn't look like Georgia's going to change anything about the setup. Texas has moved a couple of people closer to the near sideline. And it's recovered by the Longhorns. Colin Johnson. And Texas will win the All-State Sugar Bowl.
This is the favorite play an offensive coordinator calls right here, victory.
Interesting season for Texas. It started with an unbelievable loss at Maryland, given everything the Maryland program endured in the offseason. But they rallied quickly, won 6 in a row, got into the top 10, including that pulsating win against Oklahoma. It's going to be a 10-win season for the first time since 2009 in a New Year's 6 bowl victory. Texas never trailed, knocks off number 5 Georgia 28-21, holding the Bulldogs to 72 yards rushing. Here's Holly with Coach Herman.
Coach, it wasn't just that you won this game, but it was how you won this game with a physical brand of football. What did you see out there as you guys dominated that Georgia team?
Well, we pride ourselves in our physicality. That's, you know, at this point in our program, that's how we're going to win games. That's always how we're going to win games. And I'm just so proud of how hard our guys played. They played hard early. They played hard late. They overcame some adversity. It was a complete team effort.
It was also an aggressive effort. You went for it on 4th and goal. You had aggressive calls. What was your mindset trying to get this win?
Well, our number one goal coming to New Orleans to participate in the Sugar Bowl was to win the game. And we weren't just happy being here. We were going to win the game. We were going to do everything it took to win it.
For 26 seniors who've had to buy into you to go out with 10 wins, how does that lay a foundation for your tenure at Texas?
Well, I will tell you, they are going to go down as the most influential senior class, certainly in our tenure here, because of the culture that they have instilled, the culture that they have upheld as well. And that locker room has finally become a player-led team instead of a coach-fed team.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
4 years as a head coach, 2 at Houston, 2 at Texas, and hasn't lost a bowl game yet. Here's Holly with Sam Ehlinger. What a night for him. 169 through the air and 64 and 3 touchdowns on the ground.
Well, 3 rushing touchdowns for Sam Ehlinger. You broke Vince Young's rushing touchdown record that was set back in 2004. What does that mean to you that you did it on the ground in a physical way?
It's incredible. You know, up front, we did an excellent job all night in the running game. I think we had close to 200 yards rushing, and that's against a really, really, really good defense. And I'm just so proud of the guys up front and the way our defense played.
For you guys, you've still got so many young players that can come back next year. How does this build a foundation for you moving forward?
Oh, it's huge. I think last year that winning the Texas Bowl gave us a little momentum heading into the offseason, knowing that we could beat teams when we play our best, and we just beat an elite team. So I'm really excited for next year.
You know us in the media, we like to blow stuff out of proportion, but the second ranked or second place Big 12 team beat the second place SEC team. What does that mean to you?
I don't know. I think that we came out and played well today. I'm not gonna make any statements. Obviously, the SEC is an incredible conference, and I'm just very excited.
Congratulations on a win.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You would think he'll be a little sore.
Yeah.
He took some shots tonight, but made big plays all night long when his team needed them. The trophy presentation and the Ford postgame still to come here on ESPN right after these messages.
The Ford postgame is brought to you by the Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar.
Welcome everybody to the Ford postgame from Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Tom Herman in Texas, an upset winner over the number 5 Georgia Bulldogs. We finish at 11-3. Texas 10-4, 28-21 is the final. Sean McDonough with Todd Blackledge. They came out ready to play from the beginning, raced to a 17-0 lead. I give Bevo the credit, the mascot. An hour before the game, he went after Uga. Little mismatch there, 1,700 pounds against 62. But it was clear Texas came with a point to make, and they made it loudly.
You know, and we always wonder that with bowl games. Is one team going to be more locked in, more focused than the other team? I think when the game started, clearly Texas was. I think Georgia got a wake-up call. I think they tried to get back in it, but Texas never relented. They won total yards. They won rushing. They won the turnovers. They were the more physical team, and they deserved the win. I mean, this win meant a lot to them. You could tell by their preparation, by their execution, and you could tell by the way they celebrate.
Smart and classy kid, Sam Ehlinger. We've met with him a couple of times now. I like the touch with which he arrived. Same high school as Drew Brees in Austin, Texas, Westlake. He came wearing Drew Brees' high school uniform. And even if you're not a Texas fan, if you're a neutral fan watching this game tonight, you have to like the way this guy plays.
He plays with so much heart, so much passion. As we heard when we covered him a couple times this year, the kid believes he was born for this, to be the quarterback at Texas. And part of that, I think, in his mind is to be a tough guy, to not just throw the football to big receivers, but to be willing to give up your body and run the football. Carried it over 20 times today, not for a lot of yards, but hard-fought, message-sending kind of yards every time he runs the football.
And so often your life off the field helps mold you as a football player. Here's a young man who lost his dad, who was a Texas man in 2003, running a triathlon in San Francisco. So, the little challenges that come up during the football game sometimes don't seem quite as tough when you've handled things that are really tough and meaningful. And raised well by both of his parents. Great performance, but really, to me, more than anything, was the night for the defense. Georgia had 72 yards rushing. Their previous low was 113, also in a loss at LSU, and they had 322 total yards also. the season low.
Yeah, they controlled the line of scrimmage from start to finish. That was clear.
Back with more from New Orleans right after this.
The Ford postgame is brought to you by the Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar.
The Ford postgame continues from New Orleans. Time to send you down to the field. Here's Holly Rowe.
Ladies and gentlemen, would like to welcome you to the 2019 All-State Sugar Bowl trophy presentation. First and foremost, would like to thank all of the fans from both Georgia and Texas for coming to this great bowl game and enjoying the hospitality of New Orleans. And now, with a few words, the president of the All-State Sugar Bowl, Rod West.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we have witnessed a historic performance tonight. On behalf of the All-State Sugar Bowl Committee, I am proud to recognize the University of Texas Longhorns and their coach, Tom Herman, as the champions of the 85th All-State Sugar Bowl Classic. Congratulations to the university, the great state of Texas. Coach, outstanding performance.
And now with the trophy presentation, the Chief Marketing Officer of Allstate, Elizabeth Brady.
Congratulations to the university champions. Today, outstanding victory, Texas. A season of passion, hard work, and commitment really paid off. So from the 75,000 All-Staters and college football fans across the nation, we congratulate you on this outstanding achievement.
Thank you. So, Coach Herman, the trophy is apparently too heavy to hand to you. But what does this mean for you in your second season with Texas to set this benchmark in such a prestigious bowl game with a win over Georgia?
Well, our hats off to the University of Georgia. Kirby, I've got a ton of respect for him and his program and what they've done the last few years. But as far as our program, I think it means we're headed in the right direction. Our trajectory is very bright, and we've got a bunch of seniors here that 2 years ago bought in to our way of doing things, and I can't thank them enough, and they will be remembered throughout the University of Texas history forever.
There are 26 seniors on this team, and I think you showed great belief in them where down in the goal line you've been stopped 3 times, and on 4th and goal, you went for it. What was going through your mind in that decision, and how did it show the trust in your team?
Well, we knew we were going to have to be the more physical team to win, and we weren't for a couple plays there, but we had been throughout the game. And our number one goal when we got to New Orleans was to win the game, and we were going to do whatever it took to win that game. And I felt like our defense was playing great. So had we not gotten it and given them the ball on the minus half-yard line, we were okay with that, but had a lot of confidence in our offense that we were going to score there.
Thank you so much. And now to present our most outstanding player, Chuck LePere, the chairman of the executive committee for the All-State Sugar Bowl. The most outstanding player is sophomore quarterback Sam Ehlinger. So the people on TV know this, but the people in the stands do not know that Sam Ehlinger, with his 16th rushing touchdown tonight of the season, broke Vince Young's rushing touchdown record. Some pretty good company. Sam, when Coach put the ball in your hands time in and time again in the red zone, How were you able to take advantage of that with toughness and grit?
Well, we preach it all the offseason. Toughness, finish, 4th and inches every day. And we had that opportunity down on the goal line. We did a great job up front of pushing them back and was able to get in the end zone.
You know, one of the storylines coming into this game was how big this Georgia team was and how your offensive line might not be able to handle them. How do you describe what your offensive line did tonight?
Man, yeah, we had almost 200 yards rushing, so if you're going to discredit them, you're crazy.
Well, we are not crazy, but I would like to give a shout out to your defense that played terrific, really limiting this offensive powerhouse of Georgia. How would you describe what you saw from your defense?
They played incredible. Hats off to Georgia. They're an incredible team, but our defense stepped up today, running the ball, or defending the run and defending the pass. So they did an incredible job.
For all these fans who are in the stands and those who are watching on TV, what does this do to set up Texas for a springboard into next season?
Longhorn Nation, we're back!
We cannot say it any better than that. Congratulations to the Longhorns, the All-State Sugar Bowl champions of 2019. Thanks, everybody, for coming out, and congratulations.
We're running out of college football season, but the biggest one still remains next Monday. Don't miss the College Football Playoff National Championship presented by AT&T. Clemson and Alabama at 8 o'clock on ESPN. It's been my great pleasure to work with our wonderful crew all season long, led by our producer Phil Dean, our director Scott Johnson. Best wishes to our ops producer Jim Birch. We're all thinking of you, Jim. Happy New Year on behalf of Todd Blackledge and Holly Rowe. Now Sports Center, Scott Van Pelt.